I live in Charleston, West Virginia, and I didn't trust MLS when it first started, but some people talked me into coming up to Columbus Crew Stadium, and the minute I walked in the door, I fell in love with this team. I can't think about life without the Crew right now. I got to do everything I can to try to help. If I could tell you all of my stories, you wouldn't have time on your camera. This team is family to me, in not only the fans, but the players, the staff. Everything about this place is my home. It's where I belong, and the Crew belongs here so that I can be here as well. It's, it's a major part of my life.
This is not over. If you came here for a funeral, if you thought this was a wake, you're in the wrong place.
We're not done yet. 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 We're not done yet.
Now, shall we begin?
You are now listening to an altogether less fashionable variety of soccer podcast. Broadcasting live from the capital city of Columbus, Ohio. Welcome to
ACES Radio.
I got the new wings with the Zima flavor sauce.
I've given this no thought whatsoever.
Hashtag probably riding cock.
They're in your face, they're a little different. I think it's super cool. I love them. Jamie, ignorant slut.
Hold on to your butts.
Now, here are your hosts, Morgan Hughes, John Zadar, and Darby Schnarpus.
Oh, yeah, baby. Ignorant sluts, shitlords, and celebrity fans alike. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, it's already too late. You're tuned in to the latest, the lamest, and possibly last season of ACES Radio. It's Buffalo Bills podcast only. Coming up tonight on the program, Crewzers FC take on all challengers in a cup of Carolina origin and emerge victorious. The panel will discuss cracking the code. Tonight it makes its triumphant return as we try to decipher what Anthony Precourt means when he releases statements. Man balls, they are back, and they are thrown about as liberally as ever. John Zadar, I remind you as always, if you're feeling like taking out the PFGs, just go for it. Then on segment 2, the rarest of all rare treats as a celebrity guest, unlike any other, which we don't mean as a compliment, stops by the show. Sean Kelly is back, bitches. He was the first guest on ACES Radio. He's back tonight to talk about the Save the Crew documentary. What a rare treat indeed. Then on segment 3, we head live on Periscope for your hot takes, aka the battle for the grand prize and sweet mother of God. A log jam at the top and the bottom of the standings this week, fellas, as users A, B, C, D, E, F, and G return to battle each other and others for hot take supremacy. Prediction scores, prediction updates, Crewzers versus Toronto FC, HangOnTour, the AGS Attack, more, and so much fucking more! Brought to you as always by benevolent corporate overlord sponsors, Blood and Urine, and broadcasting live from the beautiful front room here at Endeavor Brewing Company. My name is the continuing champion, Morgan Hughes, a.k.a. the #1 handsy boy. And I'm joined as always by AAA, the absentee amateur artist himself, Captain Jean-Luc the Wet Boy Zadar, and everyone's favorite ancient ruin, Darby the 40-year-old man-child Schnarfus. Fellas, mapaches, lads from different dads, brothers from different mothers, and amigos de Guillermo for the first time this season. How the hell have you been?
Fantastic.
Hey, that's not Darby.
That's not Darby.
That's not Darby at all. Who are you?
Darby's getting his dialysis.
Oh, that's right. Darby's not here tonight. I said his name anyway. Alex Thomas filling in for Darby Schnarfus. At least on segment 1. How you been, pal?
Oh, dude, fantastic.
Is that right?
How you doing?
I feel good right now.
I do too.
It's the first episode of ACES Radio on season 3, and I feel energized. But give it a segment, and then I'll be dead. John Zadar, welcome back. The wet boy himself. How you been, pal?
I'm pretty good. Playing some footsie with Alex right now.
That's disgusting.
Just getting it on under the table.
That's disgusting.
I'd like to point out the irony that Darby only is part of this program because of my repeated absences last year, and now it's episode 1 and he's already not fucking showing up.
And he was late for like 2 of the last 3 episodes last year.
What in the god hell is happening?
I hate Darby.
Do you think he's just old and like losing track of time?
John, there's a reason in the intro now that when his name is announced, someone screams no in the background because everyone hates him.
It's true.
Lads from Different Dads, welcome back. It is officially a new season of ACES Radio. John, I know how much you love this.
I'm really excited to be here, Morgan.
Yeah,
I've been looking forward to it. Been asking you, when is this going to happen?
Can we just get to segment 3, he says.
No, that's not what I said.
Yeah, I just want to know the hot takes.
Yeah. Are there hot takes for today?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think there are not that many. I think there's only like 10 or something.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, people want to hear the cracking the code is what they came for, John.
Sure.
A few pieces of housekeeping, if I could, lads. First piece, Alex, you're filling in for Darby on segment 1. Darby is at a child's birthday party.
Yeah, I told him I was jealous, actually.
A child's birthday party.
What?
Like
his great-grandchild's? Or
no,
great-great-grandchild's?
He's not related to the fucking kid in any way.
Are we sure?
Weird.
Yes, 100%. It's Natalie from the
he's
Mini
so
Tailgate.
old, he could potentially be related to all of us.
That's right. That's very funny, John. He's like the Adam, like the biological Adam.
Yeah.
You hear about
the
that.
Darby and Deve.
You think it would have come from Africa, but no, Clintonville.
Yeah.
Where does Darby live? Clintonville?
Grandview? I don't know.
No one cares. Sean Kelly is going to be joining the program on segment 2, and we thank him for letting us steal audio from his film for the intro today. That was Randy. What's Randy's last name? Sims?
Quaid.
Yes, Quaid. Randy Quid Sames. Mm-hmm. And there's Sean's going to talk to us about the new version of the Save the Crew documentary. So I wanted to tease that a little bit in the intro. And I honestly, to be honest with you guys, I am nervous about the next cut of this because I think he's been spending a lot of time in Austin, and by that I mean a day. And I think that he has started to like trend towards the middle of this conversation, like where he's like, maybe everything in Austin isn't bad, maybe this isn't bullshit. Tune in to find out.
He's somewhat familiar with Austin, though, right? With that F1 track being down there? Like, he spent time there before, right? This isn't his first foray. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see some footage from down there.
As long as we're the good guys and they are the bad guys.
I think that's true.
I'm okay with it. Otherwise...
I mean, Austin isn't the bad guys. People of Austin aren't bad guys. We don't hate the people of Austin.
They do film the Dave Greeley show down there, I mean, I'm a fan of that. Yeah. Alex, your thoughts?
I heard you were a paid consultant on that show, though.
Me?
Yeah, I can only assume so since you've included Lyndon B. and the Bird or whatever the fuck it's called
Lady Bird
on there.
Oh, yeah, look, they're on the main thing for ACES Radio on our screen.
I think her real name's Claudia.
Well, yeah, in real life.
Yeah.
Spikehead Cow and Claudia. Moving the fuck on. A lot has happened since the last show. This is the third piece of housekeeping. And we probably won't be able to cover everything, so like apologies to all the fools listening on their iPhones who expect hot takes about the supporter summit and the coming and the goings of players. This is our first show since December 7th, which is Larry Bird's birthday. #blessed, #legend, #thanks LD. So we're gonna miss a couple things, I'm sure, and you can go fuck yourselves. Last piece of housekeeping before we get into the meat and potatoes, John. Save the Crew released a kind of like a project today, and it's been gaining some traction, even though it's been out there for like 2 entire hours now.
Yeah, just about 2.5 almost.
So Save the Crew is working with the organization known as CRIS, CRIS, and that's Crisis Refugee.
Nope, you get close. Community Refugee and Immigration Services.
This is S for Sanch.
Sanch.
Is that right, John? Tell us about the CRIS initiative.
I don't really know a whole lot about them. That'd be more of a GCG bag question.
Yeah, but you speak for GCG bag on this program.
No. Well, I didn't know I was going to get asked about this. I really don't know the whole lot about it. That's a Dave Faust, Kelly Faust passion project, which is great. They worked with them a couple times last year, but they, I think, help refugees that come to America get settled in. I don't know what all services they provide, but I would imagine it seems like it's pretty comprehensive, so I would assume they help them kind of lock down a place to live, somewhere to work, get them integrated in the community with programs such as this ticket donation thing that we're doing. So
they are a great organization.
Yeah.
They came and spoke at the Save the Crew event here in Endeavor when we I guess we screened the Swansea City thing and the Save the Crew documentary. It was a couple months ago. And the guy got up and spoke about it. It's a great organization, like John mentioned. They've done some work last year, GCG Bag. It's definitely something that Dave Faust, Kelly Faust, and failing Ethan McKinley and people like that are very passionate about. And the deal is, you buy tickets Like, let's say you're somebody like an East Coast Ultra, like a Scott Sedley or a Steve Abreu on tour,
or even a non-crew fan.
Yeah. Like Scott Sedley.
Yes.
Yeah. You can buy tickets, and they will then be donated to refugees here in Columbus, so they can come support the lads and up the footy pitches. John,
it's great. It's super easy. All you do is you log into your Ticketmaster, you buy a ticket. There's a recommended section. I believe it's 115, but
I'm doing so right now.
Are you checking on the? Yeah, good. Okay.
No, I'm logging in.
Oh, you're logging in. Okay.
Yeah.
And once you're logged in,
right,
you're
I'm
in
on
like.
there.
Okay, it's over already. That's
no.
That's not realistic.
No, I'm on. What do I do?
Click on the Ticketmaster link.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And now you're in there. Buy a ticket.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, once you got the ticket, you're going to want to go to transfer tickets.
Oh, okay.
That's
all right. Done.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, so then you transfer it to the Chris representative.
Chris.
No.
Not to Chris.
Not to Chris himself.
John, I don't
He's
have a
not part of
contact,
this.
just named
He's like
Chris.
Wendy's.
Oh.
Wendy, you don't actually deal with Wendy.
Okay.
You're just dealing with...
So I'm transferring it to Wendy's.
No.
It's Sanj.
Okay, Sanj?
Yeah.
All right.
You can just transfer all tickets to Pedro Sanj.
Okay, and then he goes...
And then
he'll distribute them.
I don't know what he does with them.
He goes to Kroger and shops for produce with our tour.
Yes.
That's a Pam sees our tour and...
Who's Paige?
I have no idea. Oh. Pam's niece. It makes it terrible because she's
not
like
good.
3.
Yeah.
Moving the fuck on. Crewzers FC. Preseason is complete, Alex. Let's quickly and briefly go over the outcomes because we played 5 games and they're worth mentioning because we progressively got better. We started in Hawaii. Aloha. It means goodbye and hello. On the 9th of February, we took on a team named, this is going to be difficult, Hokkaido Console Sapporo. It's like a beer, John?
Sapporo?
Yeah, that's what it's called. It was a 3-2 loss. Jossi Zardes.
They're the good Japanese team that we played.
Okay.
We played 2.
Yeah.
They're the one that's in the top tier.
Okay.
This next one you're about to say is basically like the 3 of us.
As you go down in the tiers, the names get easier to say.
I would sure.
Okay, tune in to find out. We led twice in that first half. Jossi Zardes in the 13th minute and in the 39th. The one in the 39th was a PK. However, it was a 3-2 loss. On the 10th of February, the last game in Hawaii, aloha means goodbye in this instance, Owaki FC, which is how you say that, John. It's a Japanese word for old white people. Darby. Yeah.
Oh.
It was a 5-3 win. Your goals were Jossi Zardes, #Darbs. Jossi Zardes, Higuain had a penalty kick. Abu Bakar scored off of a corner. Rookie Edward Opoku and Luis Arguado? Isn't that the guy, the policeman in Ace Ventura? Moving on. Owaki FC, I think this is the one that I remember. Lots of pressure, better team for about 30 minutes, and then we just kind of turned it on. Then we went to Carolina, the Carolina Challenge Cup for the second year in a row. Alex, we started against Atlanta United. I don't know if you remember this game. It was a 3-1 win. And in that game, your boy, Pedro Sanch, got his first goal as a member of Crewzers FC.
He's going to score all the goals.
That's what I've heard. Yeah. Nope, that's not the right one. Higuain in the 48th, another penalty kick. Nope, that was okay. Christian Martinez, that was the one. He had that chip goal from 40 yards, John. 33 minutes in. He chips Brad Guzan. Like, the dude didn't even pick up his head, man. Like, I don't even know if he knew what he was doing.
That's what you do.
No, I'm pretty sure you have to look.
That's how you... No, you don't. No. You be aware. It's called awareness, field awareness, vision.
I'm pretty sure I played sports for John. I think you have to look at what you're doing. Yeah.
Well, maybe if you're bad at them.
No. Well, he is bad, so... And then an own goal off of Martinez's noggin in the 71st. Our tour subbed out in the 60th, but other than that, it was a full 90 with the starters, which was nice to see. I think that we're going to excel early in the season, a team like Toronto, a team like Columbus, because there's some continuity there on the roster. On the 22nd, 4 days later, we took on Charleston Battery. It was a 2-1 win. We entered halftime down 1 goal. Again, Jossi Zardes in the 56th, and then again in the 82nd, he bags a brace. Crewzers FC win 2-1. Final game of the preseason, John, against Minnesota United. I know that's your favorite team, you and Todd Fichtenberg. Another 2-1 win. Goals by Higuain and Zardes. Second straight Carolina Challenge Cup trophy. John, I put this question to you. The world has been asking, and we need your answer. 2 trophies in a row in the preseason. Are Crewzers FC a dynasty? Back to you.
Maybe in a preseason dynasty, I suppose. When they're the champions of winning games that don't mean anything.
Hey, and Club Retailer of the Year, too, John.
Oh, excuse me. Club Retailer of the Year. But the metrics are down, guys. The metrics are down.
Like, all these trophies don't matter. We're winning all of them.
Right.
So, like, Dynasty, yes or no? Back to you.
Sure. Yeah.
It's official. I don't know how we can move to Austin now. You can't move a Dynasty.
No, you can't?
No. So, I mean, like, you're a soccer
guy. You can cause one to crumble, though.
You can, yeah. I've crumbled all.
You've crumbled many dynasties, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm just like Jossie Zars. I punch myself in the dick.
Right.
It gets me angry, and I start crumbling dynasties. That's a joke from
off the air. It's a great callback from off the air.
Yeah, when we weren't recording.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you're a soccer guy. You've played preseason games before. You were with the lads on the footy pitch. Do you take anything from it?
I mean, it's good to see. I don't particularly care personally about these kinds of games, so I don't watch them. Like I maybe saw parts of a couple of them here or there, but I never watched any of them full on. I never saw a full half of play. They're the kind of games that I suppose if you are itching for some soccer, you watch them and get your fill. But
real question, is that because you didn't care? You just don't care about it, or you were busy?
No, I just don't care.
Okay, all right.
I mean, they mean something to the players, and they mean something to the coaching staff who are, training and analyzing players and things like that. But ultimately, they don't mean anything to us. Like, I mean, we don't know what kind of lineups we faced. We can look up kind of recent form for those Japanese teams, but ultimately, we don't know anything about them.
I think they're in preseason too.
But
they're further along.
But again, the Atlanta win is pretty good in my opinion, based on last season's performance by both teams. But I don't know what kind of lineups Atlanta was playing.
Well, they weren't playing Michael Parker, so they were probably very good.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know. Were we playing their bench? I have no idea.
No, I mean, like their legitimate starters were in there for the most part, especially their midfield.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's exciting. It's promising. I won't particularly read into it a whole lot. Personally, I want to see results in the matches that matter because you got to take into account things like pressure. There's pressure on them to perform because they're trying to earn that starting spot, but there's not the same kind of pressure as in a game in regular season.
Yeah, so, maybe there's no pressure on a guy like Sanj or Higuain or something
right.
Like
yeah,
that.
there isn't. Yeah, those designated players, they're playing.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens. I mean, they'd have to literally go out there and get injured,
right,
to get benched, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more of a big deal for Martinez, but a lot of this roster is pretty set. I think as far as starters go. I mean, Will is starting, Artur is starting, Pedro is starting, Higuain starting. I think it's pretty obvious at this point that Zardes is starting.
Yeah.
Mensa is probably for sure starting. Awful is probably for sure starting. Stefan is probably for sure. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
What does that leave? 3 positions? Left back,
well, yeah, Fernando
other
Valenzuela.
center back, and
Milton.
other wing.
Milton?
No, Fernando Valenzuela. He won the 1981 Cy Young Trophy.
But that Valenzuela's guy's probably starting on the other side. I mean... that leaves 2 positions. The other Mensa's center back partner, and then the vacant spot for Meram, which seems, from what I've gathered, is Martinez's to lose. Is that correct?
I mean, Martinez, and then when Nico Hansen, when his ouchie is better, I think that he'll probably challenge for minutes. But that's an in-season, open transfer
It'll
window.
change, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've got that other young, really good midfield guy who could potentially be played there as well, if we need to. So
and he has looked good.
Yeah, so I saw some of his play. I did look it up because I'd heard that he'd made some really nice passes and stuff, and he did look really nice in the clips I saw.
Yeah.
So, I think they look pretty good. I think they look on par with where they were at the end of last season, if not potentially better.
It's good to see them look good early because with the shithole, terrible schedule this year, we're going to have a lot of early home season games, and you want to be able to take advantage of that.
Yep.
Speaking of players playing good, Alex Thomas, Uncle Alligator himself, through 5 games, and we know they're preseason, but they are games. Jossie Zardes has 6 goals, and he didn't even play both halves in all of those games. So my question to you, I asked John earlier, are we preseason dynasty? I ask you, is Jossie Zardes a dynasty? Is he a dynasty?
Dude, he's shown a lot of promise. I mean, there's been a couple flashes where I saw some things and I thought, that looks exactly like what Ola would have done. When they throw a cross in and he throws his foot out there and misses it, how many times did that happen to Ola Kamara last year? Like 6, 7, 8? And some of them were just like backbreakers. Like we could have won the game had he tapped that in. So... in those situations, they're playing him similarly.
Yeah.
But maybe he just needed a change of venue, man. He's looking like
Well, okay,
the system I think is different here than
LA was playing him at fucking left back by the end of last year. I want to do this, John. You were not a believer in Ola Kamara. I'm sorry, in Gyasi Zardes, because you're wrong about most things. Like you said, Harrison Hoffel scored 27 goals. He never did.
Okay,
he hasn't yet.
Getting there.
Start with you, John. I mean, your expectations of Gyasi before he got here, and have they changed based on preseason performance?
Yeah, I feel a little more confident than I did when I heard that we signed him. I still would like to wait and see how he performs in the season, but you're right. I didn't think that he was going to be enough, but I didn't think that Kai Kamara was going to be enough either. I thought that he would maybe get to double-digit goals, and look what he did. He went and knocked in 22 goals.
Yeah.
I think what I have taken from the last two to three seasons of Berhalter, and then now this preseason with Gyasi Zardes, is that his style of play works regardless of kind of who's up there, assuming that who's up there can do the exact instructions that he's giving to his strikers.
Freak athletic
because
shit.
He's not giving very different instructions to these three guys. The role is very similar, and they're physically they're a bit different in height and things like that. But as far as like aggressiveness and I think like just like the way that they play and move, they're getting it, and they're doing it similarly to the predecessor that was there before them, and they're seeing success because of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
the system is built to create a lot of chances.
It is, yeah, and that's what I would get frustrated when I would see people freaking out about however many shots Ola Kamara missed. I'm like, it's fine that he's missing them because there's so many. You know, if he was only getting 2-3 chances a game and he's missing all 3, that's a problem. But when he's getting like the expected goals thing is something that people like to make fun of and get upset about, but it's a real thing. Like if your expected goals are higher, you're not gonna score every expected goal. So the more good chances you have, the more you're going to miss. It's just the nature of the thing.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm ready to just shut up, and whoever he signs at striker until I see otherwise, I'm ready. I'm in. I'm a believer.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's Adam John. I do not believe in him.
No, I don't believe in him.
Yeah, no, I don't.
But Adam, I mean, I think there's this line where you can tell, okay, this is a guy that can fit.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that can't. And Adam John's on the wrong side of the line, and Gyasi Zardes is on the right side of the line.
Yeah, also, we're talking about Columbus in MLS. Like, with the exception of Kai and Ola being on the roster at the same time, which didn't fucking last more than like 2 months, you're never going to have like a backup in Columbus that's actually like, a world-class guy.
I mean, you're never going to really have that in any team.
Yeah, or a starter for that matter.
Yeah, it's rare that a team has 2 really high caliber strikers, I think.
And when you do, you play 2 forward.
Yes. You change your formation to make them out there.
Yeah.
Put them out there.
Alex Thomas, you are a soccerman. You watch soccer. You are a fan of a Columbus Crew team.
Somebody even says
plays soccer.
Sportman.
Yes, you're.
I had heard that actually.
Yeah.
I had taken a break from listening to what the streets have to say. What? Knowing that we are coming back.
Oh, okay.
I've never taken a break.
I've put my ear down a couple times this week.
Oh yeah.
And everything that I hear
is
about him being Sportman.
What else do they say about him, John?
Oh, they say he makes weird cheese out of this special butter that he collects.
I didn't believe you, but that's what I'm hearing from
Is that what you're hearing as well? Well,
exactly.
I mean,
I'm no hornman.
Yeah. I'm a top hornman.
Yeah, I know.
Pam knows that. Ask her off the air. Alex, you. So, what did you think about Gyasi? Now, we've all been watching him play in one way or another. If not for the Galaxy, definitely from the national team's perspective. What do you expect going in? It's hard to say. I expect him to do this as a 9 when fucking he was playing left back at times last year. So, expectation versus reality. Back to you.
I didn't expect him to be put in almost identical situations as Ola Kamara. I thought that this would not give Greg an opportunity, but I thought Greg might use him a little bit differently given his skill set and physicality and maybe mold the team around that. But it seems like he's put him in the same position that Kai Kamara was in and that Ola Kamara was in. But I think it's interesting physically. Kai Kamara was skinny and fast and could jump real high. Mm-hmm. And then Ola Kamara was a little bit thicker, maybe not quite as fast, couldn't jump as high. Now Zardes is like he's a beast, man. Physically, he's going to be able to body people out of the way.
This is what I'll say about Gyasi Zardes.
He's like a mix of the two almost. Yeah. He's more, you've got that lean guy like Kai, you've got that kind of shorter, stockier dude like Ola, and then you've kind of got the mesh of the two, which is like dudes I think of like Altidore. I think Zardes is more like
he's
Altidore. He's
guy,
more in the middle there.
Yeah. So
I'm excited for him, man. I was right when we signed him.
I'm impressed too with his headers.
But like John said,
I'd really like to get another striker that's not Adam John behind him. But I'm I'm ready for him to be the starter now. When I wasn't a month or two ago.
I'm a little concerned that we're going to fall into that same thing where we're a one-trick pony, and once teams figure it out, that we become one-dimensional. If we're not feeding it through him, where are we going to get the goals from?
Justin Merrim.
That's the thing. But Martinez has shown some flashes and stuff. But no, I think we're going to be A-okay. I think that this season feels a little different to me from a continuity standpoint. Berhalter has put lineups out there, with the exception of Hawaii, which I think was a big experiment. But if you watch Carolina Cup, the first game was essentially our starting lineup. The second game was all bench players. And once he realized that wasn't working out, he put the starting lineup in the second half, and it was a night and day difference. And then by the third game, that's essentially our starting lineup for the day. And I think that's nice for Berhalter to have that continuity.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'll say this about Jossie. He had a haircut appointment today with Kathy Sassafy.
You're talking to Kathy. What's Kathy about?
Well, Gangster Crew Baby's talking to her. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't, John.
You tweeted at her.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you started
that's right.
You started it.
All right, yeah. That's what I meant.
I got a question, though, about his hair.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I had dreadlocks. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I know.
I thought that was Salon MX.
How does a Boubacar... How does Abubakar head that ball in with that giant? Because here's the deal,
dude. I have no idea.
It's one giant dreadlock that goes up, and then it goes into like 48.
Is that what it is?
Yes, it's one big bongo dreadlock.
Yep.
And then it splits into little. I mean, that thing's got some form and shape to it, and some rigidity.
I mean, maybe he's like one of those like weird like anime characters where he's like whipping shit with his hair and stuff.
I don't think it moves though, man. I don't think it moves.
I'm just saying, like, for the ball to come in and predictably bounce off of your head, you have to. I just have to think there's an opportunity for it to go like one way or the other.
As like a white person with very soft Asian woman hair, like I have absolutely no idea how Lawless's hair works, and like I think it would be racist for me to ask him for clarification. Like, isn't that like
maybe we just
the token racist thing that people do? Is like, can I touch your hair? I don't understand it. I'm a white person.
Yes, that is a racist thing that they would not appreciate. Yeah.
And why are people laughing, John?
Because you control them?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, yeah, sad. Jossie Zard is canceling his hair appointment today. Sad.
Oh, he did cancel it?
He did.
Oh.
Yeah.
You ruined it. You put it out
baby.
there into the world, and now he was worried everyone was going to flock to the salon. And
yeah.
Is he going to take the opportunity to color like the white part, since it's kind of like a blank canvas?
I think that's the
It's gonna be
style.
like yellow
the style, I
sometimes,
think, right now is white gray. The white kind of silver gray is in style.
Right.
I think.
He does that so his grandmother can find him on the field.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
I thought that was the dumbest haircut ever.
Until I heard that. You learned that, yeah.
I'm like, no, that's my favorite haircut officially.
Right. Why isn't everybody doing that?
Yeah, right.
Grandmothers are hard of sight, okay?
Yeah, and they're smoking weed, John.
Every day.
Remember that from the last season?
What episode was that?
I don't know.
Oh, the grandma.
Oh, it's the Jonathan Smith episode.
Yes,
with
T-Bone.
Schmitty,
Yeah. Alex Thomas, we're going to get our color impressions out of the way of the Crewzers FC preseason. We go to you first for your impressions of the color variety.
Look, I'm going to go white, like Zarda's silver white, like his hair.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not like the guy from that Sylvester Stallone movie? What was that called? Demolition Man? Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Remember Wesley Snipes? It's a movie from the 90s.
I never seen it.
Please have a party.
Yeah, this is from that.
Oh, this is from that?
This is Animal House.
That's Wesley Snipes.
That is Wesley Snipes?
Yeah, it sure is.
Wow, he's been practicing voice work. He doesn't sound anything like him.
He's aggressive.
He was playing Jeremy Piven in Demolition
Right,
Man.
he's a notorious character actor.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right.
What
White.
was that movie with him with a bunch of swords and like the meat locker?
Blade.
Okay.
Major League 2, I believe is what you're thinking of. Scott Bakula. Back to the minors. Speaking of back to the minors, John, we go to you next for your color impressions of the season, my friend.
Of the season?
Preseason. I'll edit that out.
The preseason? I don't know, man. Let's just go with pink, like Lady Bird's bow.
Oh, nice.
Oh, what a beautiful bow it is.
It is. It's gorgeous, isn't it?
You never know, John, when you search for PNG files on Google Images, whether you're going to get that perfect bow. Not that that's how that was made.
Right, sure. Well, no,
that's a
of
real
course.
cow.
She went to Target or wherever and bought that.
Yeah.
So there's 10 episodes in season 1.
That's why.
You seem to know a lot about her for not being involved in the production of it.
No, I talked to the producers, John. That's why.
Oh, okay.
But
So I can only answer questions that I asked them.
Okay.
But go ahead.
So there's the young professionals of Columbus are meeting out in the in the bar tonight.
Pam's cousin
and
is
I'm
here.
neither young nor professional, but the word out there amongst the young professionals is there could be a season 2.
Oh, the kids are talking about season 2?
Yeah, the young professionals are.
You should go out there as a fellow kid and ask them about it.
I'm very young, John. I'm one of the top youngs.
Oh, yeah?
And professionals.
You're gross. Ew. Number one young lad?
I'm a top young. Gross.
You know what? I've been giving this a lot of thought. My color impression, Alex, and I've arrived at the following color, and that color is the color...
Yellow Beach, Columbus Crew.
That's right, Alex. Yellow.
Yellow like what, Morgan?
Yellow like young professional's button-down shirt that's tucked firmly into some pleated pants,
You're
Alex.
just not going to even give me the chance to ruin it.
No, everybody out there is like, they're just like, how many connections can I make tonight? Like, I
Yeah.
need to be connected to somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're all like, John and I were talking about this, they're all like 18.
Yeah.
So like, who the fuck are you going to connect
Well, if you're
to?
a young person connected to other young people, you're all on the same rung. So, like, what's the point of the connection?
Yeah, that's just called going to the bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
This isn't even a fucking event.
Which it is at a bar.
I'd
so.
like to join your club.
Hey, in between segments, like, let's go out there because they're like handing out paperwork and stuff where you can like find out more.
I wish we had the remote mic.
Would you
I'd
like
to go out
know
there and
more?
like...
Oh, you're talking about man on the street?
Yeah, man on the street. Send John out there.
No, unfortunately, we don't have time for that. I mean, I would love to, but this drop is playing. Moving the fuck on. Okay, John, what if I told you that there was a cure for the scourge that is being a professional and also being young and then being surrounded by more of you so that you can't meet not you, and you're like, I don't know who these people are.
Mhm.
How'd you get in my house,
Yeah.
John?
Is it a CYP name tag? You
No.
just put that on, then you know who everyone is.
No, I believe it's knowledge.
And now,
Yeah, it's knowledge.
an ACES radio exclusive.
I tried.
Don't talk over the intro.
Cracking the code. They say it.
Everything we do is for the city.
What? We explain it.
Who we are is for the city.
You reap the benefits.
What? They speak English and what? What? English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Yeah!
And it's all for Columbus.
For Columbus indeed, and not for any other city. Because that would be silly to spend your money on another city when your team is here. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is another season of Cracking the Code already. It was originally going to be called Great Explanations, but I didn't ask John until I actually paid for it, so it's probably my fault.
I thought he didn't return a text.
Well, I mean, he didn't, but I didn't text him. Anyway, moving the fuck on. This week's Cracking the Code clip comes to us from none other than beloved team owner Anthony Precourt. Alex, yesterday at 6:06 p.m. And remember, the season ticket holder event, the kickoff party for the lad season started at 6 o'clock. So at 6:06 p.m., MLS2 ATX, which is a grassroots movement by local people in Austin to bring MLS to the capital city of Texas, released the following statement by Anthony Precourt in 3, 2, 1.
Precourt Sports Ventures continues to work with the Austin community to secure an appropriate urban core site for a soccer-specific stadium that will serve as the home of Austin's first Major League professional sports franchise. We announced our serious interest to work with Austin prior to the start of the 2017 playoffs, an announcement that embodied risk, urgency, and a genuine desire to work with Austin to find the right site. The initial list of sites provided by the city contains a variety of options, and we continue to carefully analyze each site recommended by the city. We started the process in earnest with Butler Shores because we were given early indications from city leaders that it is a viable, underutilized site. We are still in the process of identifying the right stadium site in Austin, Texas. We recognize some would prefer if this process were to move faster. However, we believe that ultimately there's value in being thorough as opposed to being fast. And although we are willing to dedicate significant time and expense in this effort, we are not in a position to move to Austin if the right site is not identified. Hashtag YOLO Snake 24 Snake Blaze. Lemmy Snake.
God damn it. I don't know what hashtag yellow snake 24 snake blaze it means, Alex, but the front office seems to be loving it recently. So we can obviously talk at great lengths about how completely. So there are two options here. You release it at 6:06 p.m. when your season ticket holder event is happening in the fucking city that you actually exist in. You either don't know what you're doing or you're a fucking asshole on purpose. There is no in between. We can talk about that all day, and we will. But to me, this seems to be another pre-court / Greeley / pre-court sports ventures thing where they are going, this is not our fault. You told us to look into Butler Shores. We've spent a lot of money. We've made so many goddamn fucking scarves. I can't even get to my bed. The scarves are fucking everywhere. So, like, to me, Alex, it seems...
Who was that? Was that Dave Ettinger?
I was channeling Dave Greeley.
Oh, sorry. Wrong Dave.
A little bit.
I got confused. Dave, lots of scarves.
Yeah. So, it seems to me like this is them blaming indirectly the process itself from an Austin involvement perspective, instead of going like, instead of not, frankly, or instead of going like, hey, we know it's dragging on a long time, but like we fucked up so many times, we're going to give it our best shot. Alex Thomas, Anthony Pruitt spoke into the pocket recorder. He said all those words, and I want to know your thoughts, my friend.
Well, who recorded it?
I did. I was there.
You?
Yeah, with my pocket recorder, John.
Did you have your pants on this time or no?
I mean, I don't really remember, so probably not.
I actually heard that how he prefers to record is that he gets fully erect and then he rests the recorder on his penis.
I told you that, John. That's where you heard that.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I didn't say that you didn't tell me. I just said I'd heard it.
Remember that
I was trying to save a little bit of face here.
Remember that my penis is in the middle of my chest. So
like acorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like a shelf, and it's very convenient because it's near my mouth. And also for
why is that
recording
near your
things.
mouth? Why is the proximity to your mouth convenient?
Alex, your thoughts on the cracking the code clip, my friend?
How many times did they use the word site? Okay, so like it's indicative of if they don't get the exact site they want, this thing's done for, man. And it's also deflection. Well, we were given something, and
they told us.
They told us to do it. Now, and a lot of people are saying that it should be faster. Who's a lot of people? And why would they
Probably
release
the same
that
people Trump's always referencing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why would they release it through MLS to ATX? How many followers do they have? Like, if I were a person trying to get the message,
the people at the young professionals meeting.
If I were somebody trying to get the message out, I would release it through a local news
Well, what if I
agency
told
or
you that they
something.
promoted that tweet?
What, they paid to have?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it was promoted.
With whose money?
Exactly.
He's a piece of shit.
Yep. And I mean, like, you kind of alluded to it, but like, yeah, they're talking about sites. They're talking about Butler Shores still.
Again,
Still.
Like,
that tells you that even though they said, hey, we won't consider it anymore, did you mean it? Are you still pushing for it behind the scenes?
And kind of laying it at the feet of people or the
it's the
city
same
saying, well, they told us it would work.
Yeah, it's the same game that they play here. It's the city's fault. It's not their fault.
Yep.
It's other people's fault. It's anybody but their fault.
Yes, Austin, I hope you're listening. I mean, honestly, we joke around, but like, you are a great city, and you don't deserve to go through what we've gone through, and the signs are there that you are about to start going through what we've been going through. John Zidar, you read the statement. You heard the cracking the code clip. You saw me with my pocket recorder and roast beef sandwiches. Your thoughts on it, my friend?
Now there are roast beef sandwiches involved? I don't know why I didn't get one of those.
Well, I had to pick up my pocket recorder from Andrew Erickson.
Does he place it on the penis, or do you do that after you get to the location?
No, I'm back at
It depends how much time I have, John.
Does he
Is
have
that the
the
kind of
roast
thing where
beef?
he puts it on and you have to, like, the whole way, like,
What?
balancing it?
It's like when you don't remember to tie a tie and you got to get like your girlfriend's mom to do it.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like that.
So I have a question real
get
quick,
it.
though.
Is it about the penis recorder?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure we're staying on
If the penis is erect, and since its proximity to your mouth, can you put the roast beef sandwich on top of the erect penis and eat it?
Delivery? Via dong delivery?
Let me smash.
Moving on. John, your thoughts on the actual statement and not my acorn penis, how close it is to my mouth.
I think that it's potentially one of the most tone-deaf things that we've ever seen during this entire thing, and that's saying a lot, because every time I think that they can't do anything that's dumber than everything that they've done, they prove me wrong.
Boom. Roasted.
Yeah, the Butler Shores part of it especially just seems very pathetic, and you almost kind of feel bad for them if they weren't just like total, actual horrible people.
Yeah. Most of paragraph 2 is us going like, wait, what? Are you still on about that?
Yeah, it's very odd. It's just like, it's like they asked the, it feels similar to like a dude who asked a girl out and she told him she wasn't interested, and just like 9 months later he's still, hey, do you want to still go get dinner with me or something?
Yeah.
Like, no, like you're not getting this. Like, this isn't a thing that's happening.
Yeah. Austin has
Move
friend-zoned you.
Right.
It's over.
Yeah, like...
But remember that he had. They basically had to release a statement. The USL news that came out on Monday was that Bobby Epstein was moving forward with his Austin 2019 USL franchise, which was on hold literally because and only because the Columbus Crew is possibly moving to Austin, Texas. They are moving forward. The optics of that.
Well, and I think that has to have the blessing of USL, which is a MLS affiliate.
Proxy
right?
has the blessing of MLS.
Right.
Yes.
So
that was
here's this guy
thoughts.
locally saying, okay, it's time to go full steam on this thing, or at least let people know what's going on.
Fully torqued.
And then, so it's very easy to internalize it and say, okay, he released that at this time because we were having our season kickoff party.
Mm-hmm.
And it's par for the course at this point with these people. But, I mean, it's probably more related to the fact that other announcement was made. But still, being aware that there's people in this city that have loved this team for as long as they have contributed as much as they have, given the situation, why you would choose right then to do that, it shows intent or just complete lack of any awareness at all.
Well, there were two
Either
things.
way, it's horrible.
There were two things that happened: the USL announcement, and then the Austin City Council got their recommendation from the Parks Foundation to remove all public parkland from consideration,
which carries no real weight, but
until they do it,
yeah.
Which so this is a double kick in the dick to PSV, and
they're basically removing it by saying that they recommend they remove it because shit would not go down well if
they're not going to fly in the face of
if this recommendation was ignored.
Anyway, they had to say something, and for them to come out with that statement specifically at that time at 6:06 p.m. I mean, it was like they're like, oh yeah, we talked to J.P. Morgan. Like, oh yeah, well I talked to fucking PNC this morning too. They asked me questions. They're like, do you want a receipt with this transaction? Would you like to view your balance? Like, what do you have, a checking account? That's not exactly talking to J.P. Morgan. Shitlord.
It seemed very awkward and odd. Like, it's not like it wasn't the kind of thing where a response needed to be given immediately. Like, it could have waited till the next day. Like, it wasn't like it was a Friday and it was about to be the weekend and they didn't want to wait the full 3 days till Monday to say something or something like that,
But it was the next day. It was the day after it. But I think your point is still valid, yeah.
Oh, so I'm sorry.
Your point is still valid. They could have released it earlier in the day, but they chose to release it right when our fucking celebration party in Columbus kicked off.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Come on. There are only two options. You're either stupid, you're dense, or you're an asshole.
Right.
Which one is it?
It could be all three. I mean, why not?
No, it can't be.
No, it can't really. I mean, they either purposefully waited till that moment to do it, or they didn't. In which case, like, they're just dunces. Like, you're either a dunce and you did it on it. You did it then, not realizing the repercussions of the timing.
Yeah, the optics behind it.
Or you did it intentionally then, and you're a douchebag.
And either way, you are actively leaving your front office that is working in the city where the team actually fucking exists out to dry at an event full of fans.
Right. Yeah, you may as well have driven here and stuck knives in everybody's backs at the fucking Bluestone.
And that brings up another good point. Where is he? Like, if this is that important to him, why isn't he present in Austin? Not that I want him to be. I mean, why isn't he there?
That's what he's done here, though. They're getting a taste of it.
I had this question asked
If
to
they
me,
think
and I
that
don't
he's
have an
going to
answer.
be more present and more involved once the team is there, they're fucking mistaken.
Well, John, what if he tells them that he'll move there? He's going to buy property.
Well, then he's a liar. He said that once before.
Wait, did he say that here, John? Oh my God!
He did.
That's the thing about the people in Austin, who I'm sure are great people. It's like a plate of leftovers in the fridge, and your friend brings it to you and says, "Hey, smell this. Is this bad? Should I eat it?" And you're like, "Yeah, that's fucking spoiled. Don't eat it." And they're like, "I'm eating it anyway." Like, we're trying to tell these people in Austin, the chick you're trying to sleep with,
she's got herpes.
Yeah, she's got the herp. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to bang it anyway. Great. Like, just don't get in bed with this guy. It's bad news.
And they don't clearly want to listen to us, which is fine, because I understand they may think that we have ulterior motives or whatnot, but do your own research.
What are our ulterior motives?
No, I'm not saying we have ulterior motives.
What would they think ours are? To save the fucking
that we want
team?
to keep our team.
Yes?
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
confirmed.
I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't. You sound silly.
Or the ulterior motive is we just had this general distaste for Austin and fuck Austin. Like,
right, which why would we? But
yeah,
no, I'm not saying that there is any existing thing. I'm just saying that there's I can understand how someone may assume that.
At this point, it's just pre-court out, period. Like, out of all dealings with the league. This is horrible.
But you would think that the MLS in Austin, that's the supporter group, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Because there's two, right? Chamber of Commerce meeting, I saw 2 scarves.
I don't know.
There's
whatever.
MLS to ATX, and then there's the other one that's like the black and white logo that's MLS to Austin.
Would you like this? I have the
different.
specifics. MLS in Austin is not Dave Greeley.
Okay.
MLS to ATX
is Dave
Greeley.
Okay. Anyways.
But is also a grassroots movement, John.
Yeah, not that one. The one that's genuinely started by Austin-based people. You would think that they would be doing this research and looking into it. And, like, even if you want a team very badly, like, at what point do you say, I don't want it from this guy?
Well, I think the majority of Austin has said that.
Well, right,
Very
I agree.
clearly.
I just think I find it fascinating that anyone is still at the point, they're so desperate for something that they're just willing to, like, I don't know. I find it disturbing.
Willing to make all the same mistakes we did. You know?
Well, no, we didn't have the information that they have now.
Yeah, right.
It's not the same situation.
Yeah, no, totally.
We were told that this car wasn't a lemon, and we bought it.
We sure did, John.
They're walking into the lot now, and the car has lemon written on the fucking windshield,
right.
and the fucking car salesman is like, yeah, that thing's gonna break down on you, and they're like, we'll take it, and we'll pay double.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't understand.
It's a head scratcher for sure.
Yeah, it is. No, I mean, the timing of it pisses me off, and we can move on here in a second. It is so aggressive to do that to your existing fan base. I still keep coming. I really haven't gotten angry in this whole Save the Crew thing for over 4 months, except when I feel like they're doing us wrong. Like the lines outside of the stadium that have never existed before, that all of a sudden now exist. Yeah. When they told me through the grapevine that I couldn't host the fucking supporter summit. Yeah. When they released this statement at 6:06 p.m., it's just like, are you really after 24 fucking years you're going to play us like this?
Right.
This is how you.
There was a way that you could go about all this and in a classy manner. Not I mean, it's never going to be labeled as classy. Yeah. But you can do it
less
in a
snake-like.
respectful way, I guess. I don't know if that's even the term.
Yeah, you're looking for less.
They're
snake-like.
not smart enough.
No, right. I agree.
I agree. They already lie. They could just continue to lie to us and make it seem like they were better people. They're too stupid to even lie to us. Like,
yeah. And then it's a greater problem beyond just this Save the Crew situation. It's a thing that we have to face as a fucking species now. This fake news, alternative facts, the timeline and reality is what you say it is kind of bullshit.
John, they're a grassroots movement.
Yeah.
Okay? What part of that do you not understand? What are you calling that fake news? Are you kidding me?
Well, their ineptitude is our best friend. I mean, seriously.
No, it's I love it. It's great.
I agree with Glenn Tennis today. I'll tell you what. All this to say, it was a desperate statement that something needed to be said by PSV. They chose the wrong time. They chose the wrong message, and it reeked of desperation. It reeks of the Dave Greeley show. Yeah. Last thought, John. I
don't search out Austin stuff on Twitter ever really. No. But I did notice that there was a couple people last night in Austin that had been pretty strong, supporters of this, whatnot, and I think that thing even I saw some people were starting to turn and go, look, like
Sean Kelly.
I want this really bad, but
Courtney Kelly.
Yes, yeah.
No, both of them. Yeah, no, they're very pro Austin. Now, John, I think the studio audience knows.
And knowing is half the battle.
Say what again? He's absolutely right. Say what one more goddamn time.
What?
No, don't do it, John.
He approaches the baby gang.
Moving the fuck on. Finally, in segment 1, we will hand out our first man balls of the year. Alex, what a rare treat. You'll be filling in for Darby today. But we're going to start with the wet boy, the absentee amateur artist, the butt licker, as they're calling him on the streets. I've had my ear to it all week, and they've been saying it consistently, Johnny. You lick butts. You don't seem to be fighting that, so moving on. Your first man balls of the week, my friend.
My first man ball, I guess, is probably just going to go to Zardes. That seems to make the most sense.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be proven wrong by him this season. And, keep it up. And my second man ball is going to go to. Let's just give it to GCG Bag and Nate.
Oh, lovely! I have to come up with the second
together.
One. All right, great.
For doing the Chris thing and the Phil the Fray thing. They're both good initiatives. A lot of responsibility, a lot of stuff got involved there, and they both
I'd like to give a man ball before my actual man balls to the person who suggested making Nate Save the Crew thing another Slack channel.
That was me. I told him he could. Yeah,
John, I'm giving out 3 and you're getting one of them. Alex Thomas, your first man ball of the week, my friend.
My first man ball is Gaston. He's getting one for sticking around.
Oh, God. I wanted to give him one, too. That's a good idea. He's my favorite person, too, by the way. Do you see his Instagram posts and stuff?
It's just fantastic.
Outrageous. How did we not know about this?
I'm not sure there's a human being that's ever walked this earth that's filled with more joy and just, like, love for life than him.
That video of them, like, dead to the world asleep in the airport, it just pans across.
He's jumping rope.
And then he's, like, jumping rope at the end of
the goddamn picture from Snapchat of him in the Eagles jersey with the eagle, like...
Dude, what's that deal he's
oh,
doing?
my God.
Yeah. Did you see the one the other day on his birthday when the team all came like marching into his bedroom and shit?
Yeah, they're having a blast, man. That's so nice to see.
Ben Beachy sends me, because I'm not on Snapchat because I'm an old, and he sends me...
I thought you were young.
Well, I am, but I'm not old enough to have Snapchat, is basically what I'm saying. My mom doesn't let me have it.
He's part of the Columbus Old Young Professionals.
I'm old, but I just got into my career. Anyway, so your second man ball.
Second man ball? Pipa. I think he's looked pretty amazing.
Has he?
Yeah, I think his passing's been legit, dude.
It's good.
I think he's feeling it. And I think, if for nothing else than the quote, if this happens in Argentina...
I've never heard this go on this
maybe
long.
somebody die. That's some heavy stuff right there.
Maybe somebody would die, yeah. That's a good one, too. So much has happened that I've forgotten about to give out man balls
if this
spaced
happened
around.
in Argentina, maybe somebody die. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. That guy's a fucking legend.
He just turns and looks in the camera. Maybe at you, Anthony.
So is there any truth to the rumor that he wears mesh shirts and his nipples stick out? At Easton?
Where did you hear this?
Apparently,
I've heard that before, too, and I think it was from you.
Oh, is that right? That sounds like
which means that's
said.
probably not true.
Yeah, you said he was at Easton in a mesh shirt with his nipples out.
No, that's not true. He does not look like that kind of guy at all.
No, this is
a
ACES
Morgan
radio
creation.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Do you remember when Alex came on the show in like episode 12 or whatever, and he just like
11.
railed off all these things from like the previous? Yeah, and we were like, and then you forget.
Yeah, he knew everything.
Yes, that Peepa nipples thing. That's a thing.
No, I know. I knew exactly what he's talking about.
I didn't. Yeah. Wonderful.
Hey,
right.
John, real quick, do you know that Morgan owns a pair of Larry Bird socks?
I'm not surprised, but no, I did not know
I'm
that.
Larry Bird. I'm Peruvian. I'm the greatest
what do they
basketball
look
player
like?
of all time.
It's like,
has it got a picture of him on them?
Yeah, a bunch of them. Like cracker ass Larry Bird, like shooting a 3.
Cracker ass. Jesus Christ, he's clear. Get it right. My first man ball of the year goes to everyone who is standing outside of the
Endeavor right now at the Columbus Young Professional.
No, they got enough man balls out there, John. No, I was standing outside with
swollen too.
Tobias and Darby and Mick Gordon yesterday before the event, and Henry Crognell walked up or rolled
Walski
up.
In blue?
No, Corey.
Okay.
Henry is his father. So Alex Crognell and Henry Crognell come up to the front door, and like at that moment, like 5 different groups of people, including no one I recognized, started talking about basement cookies. Like, like I heard basement cookies come from like every direction. I'm like, oh my God. Like ACES radio jokes in the wild are my favorite. And so like Henry Crognell, you don't need extra balls, my friend. You're a legend, but you're getting one of mine.
Can we have him on the show this year?
I'll look into it, John. I'll talk to Gangster Crew Baby's aunt.
I'd like to
Kathy.
drunkenly invite him at a tailgate.
All right.
Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do whatever
I haven't
you
done
want.
that in a year or so, but
yeah. Cool. I mean, I tried that with Liz Trapp. It didn't work out last year. So
they didn't know.
You'll have better luck with Henry Crognell. My second man ball goes to Andres Mendoza of Crewzers FC for being possibly the greatest player in franchise history, Alex, and that is it. That is the end of segment 1. What did you think?
I'm glad you didn't switch it up this week.
I'm so glad to be back. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I did switch it up, John. I just didn't say that. Yeah.
That was the point.
What's coming up on segment 2?
Coming up on segment 2, we have Sean Kelly. You'll remember him from episode 2 of ACES Radio. I didn't think we had a guest on episode 1. Don't find out. It was terrible.
No, episode 1 was just you and me and Pam's burn-ass pizza.
That's right. Memories. Terrible memories from a church hall, John. Maybe Darby will be here by segment 2. We don't know. Alex might be joining us on segment 2. If not, thanks for joining us on segment 1. My friends, my mapaches, you are listening to the season debut of the trashy podcast known as ACES Radio.
Here we go. Now we blasting off into the ozone. The way we kick it in the dojo is local for show. That we paving the road that's opposed to the dojo. Going over your head like a top hat. Stop that. I know you hear me spitting these hot raps. Now watch that beat, cause it's about to drop. The Rockets is the 09 jump off. Yeah, last name Pan, first name Peter. I know you see me playing and you want me to teach you, but I say elevated so that all God's creatures can hear me shout it out like my name is a
shitlords, celebrity fans, all you fools listening on your iPhones, and John Clem checking in live from Federal Penitentiary Prison in the state of New York with your dirty-ass beard. Welcome back. It is episode 70-something of ACES Radio. You've made a tragic mistake by sticking with us from segments 1 to 2. My God, an entire offseason you're still making bad choices. How dare you? Brought to you as always by Blood and Urine. My name is Morgan Hughes, joined by John Zidar, not Darby Schnarfus. Alex Thomas still on the mic, still rocking it. And if you're hearing the sound of my voice, it can mean only one thing. It's segment 2, it's season 3, so we're returning to our roots, John. I've been told by Save the Crew that I must respect them. Your thoughts?
I'm sorry, I was on Slack.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Have you saved the goddamn crew yet? Because I'm getting real sick of this shit.
Yeah, you and me both, brother.
Yeah. I mean, so that's a no?
Who's Phil West?
Oh, God. Do I have to answer that on while we're recording?
Well, you don't have to. But
Why? What did he do?
Well, apparently he was going on the Sirius XMFC show today.
Yeah.
It says Phil West is on to give us the latest on Save the Crew, which I don't know who the fuck that is, so I'm not sure why they're asking.
Phil West is a writer that lives in
what
Austin,
the Save
Texas.
the Crew is.
Right. No, he is way more affiliated with MLS to ATX than anything else. I actually sent him pictures of Tifo Sweat for his book that was released 2 years ago for free.
Oh.
And he quotes me in a lot of his articles. Good to see you again, Phil.
Yeah, I remember that.
Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What book was it? Don't tell it. I don't want to publish that.
I don't know. It's a book that he wrote, John, but it's a picture of me, you, Greg, and Pam painting a Tifo Sweat banner, and then on the lower portion of the page is a picture of Landon Donovan. So it's like all 5 of the most important people in soccer. It's a cough and a laugh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the program for the first time since episode 2 of this garbage program. Celebrity fan, Sean Kelly. Sean.
Good evening, Morgan. How are you?
How have you been, my friend?
I have been positively living the dream. How about you?
I've been good. I haven't talked to you at all since episode 2.
I've heard it's been a quiet time in Columbus.
All has been silent on this Western Front, my friend.
Yeah, you must be looking forward to getting back to something to talk about.
Oh, it's just been so boring around here, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm here. Don't worry, I'm here to jazz it up.
I'm well rested. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. We're going to start you off with, obviously you're the guy behind not only the guy who started the guest segment on ACES Radio, which is what you're most known for.
Clearly.
You're also the guy who is doing the Save the Crew documentary. So without spoiling everything that you're known for, because there's so much, I ask of you the same question that I ask of all of our celebrity fans, and that is, how Crew fans know you?
Well, right now, Crew fans will know me as the director of the first film, which was The Fans v. the System. Which, yes, indeed. Backed by popular demand.
About that.
Which was out in December on YouTube on the Wall Street Network.
The Fans versus the System.
Yes, yes, because it was the whole story is told essentially from the fans' perspective, which I'd like to think that many Columbus Crew fans enjoyed.
I did. I think you did a hell of a job with limited resources. It's tough to do a documentary about an ongoing issue.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest thing, is that when you have 5 weeks to make a film, and, okay, well, where do we go? I don't know anybody involved. I have to go and find all these resources and film and edit and everything, and there's no production company behind it.
If you only had a friend that you could text incessantly and ask for contact information.
Yes, indeed. Shit. If only such a person existed.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would. If you know anybody, please do let me know.
I remember before Sean texted me every 5 fucking minutes of my life asking for people's cell phone numbers. I was rested, I was tanned, I was ready to up the lads, and then Sean came. Why?
Well, indeed. Yeah, good times.
So, backstory. There are approximately 17 people that listen to this podcast. Maybe not all of them know what the backstory is. You originally released the Fans versus the System through Ball Street. Now there is a new version of the Save the Crew documentary. What's been called the new version. So I ask of you: is this a new version of the thing, or is this a sequel? Is this Bad Boys 2? I mean, is this now it's personal?
2?
Is it Electric Boogaloo? The Search for Spock? Like, talk to me, man. What do we got here?
It's almost a sequel. It's a little bit of a director's cut version of the first film. But essentially, it's a sequel. A lot has happened since December the 8th, which is when the first film came out.
The day after Larry Bird's birthday.
Yes, indeed, as oft regaled by you. So much has happened, and also the fact that the first film was made in only 5 weeks gave very little time to really to go to all the places and speak to all the people who are likely to speak, all around the country. Well, I've now been able to address that. This new film was shot in Columbus, in Cincinnati, in LA, in New York, in Austin. So there's a lot more breadth of opinion and information.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're filming the last portion of it tonight after ACES Radio. Is that right?
Yes, I think tonight will be the last segment.
Who would that be with?
That will be with Steve Cirque.
Oh no, everyone hates monkey wearing monocles.
I can tell you how much he loves being on camera. We're going to be talking about the 1990s crew. And he seemed like a pretty solid person to discuss the history of the team and Lamar Hunt and everything. So
the best source.
Yes,
yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Certainly, it's a fountain of information on the past there.
Yeah. What the hell was that?
My phone that I didn't know was not muted. My bad.
That was so clear, John.
John Zadar has coughed into the microphone.
I always keep my phone muted, too, so that was really weird. It startled me.
Welcome back. God. So, Sean, okay, so the sequel... Save the Crew 2, Electric Boogaloo, / The Search for Spock, brought to you by ZZ Boots, Wildman's Leather and Lace.
/ The Battle for Columbus.
That's right, yeah. It's coming out on March 9th, is that right?
It sort of. The premiere night is next Friday, March the 9th, at the Gateway.
The Gateway is
It's a big movie theater? It's a big movie theater.
Okay. The Gateway Film Center is one of the nation's preeminent independent film centers.
Is that right, John?
Yeah, they're internationally known.
For a second, I thought you were reading that, and then you fucked up.
No, I go there all the time.
And I haven't been in Columbus long enough to know whether you are being facetious or not.
I've never been to
I
it.
am not. It's the only place I go to see movies.
Well, I guess you'll be going next Friday,
Yes.
presumably. Because...
I'm going to the 9:30 p.m. showing.
Okay,
9
good.
Or whatever.
Because there'll be...
How would I get tickets, Sean, if I didn't have them?
Go to the Gateway website. They're $10 a head. Half of the proceedings, half of the proceeds go to the Gateway as a non-profit film center, and half go to the Save the Crew movement.
Fuck yeah, we're getting rich off this, John. I've told you this the whole time. It's happening.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, whenever that wants to start happening, it'd be great.
But of course, we've got plenty of VIPs coming. We've got quite a lot of the 2008 team already announced.
So you teased this. You made me tease this earlier via Twitter. There have already been a plethora of celebrity fans that have been confirmed to be coming. Can you run through those real quick and then tell us who are the two that you're announcing tonight?
Yes. Well, the first one, and probably the most prominent one, is Ali Moreno. He was the first person to really commit to it. Excuse me while I cough.
Yeah.
There we go.
You don't have to do that. You just cough into the microphone.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So, yes, Ali Moreno was the first person to be...
Chivas USA legend.
We now have Steve Leonard. We have Andy Iro. We have Gino Padula. And I can also add Andy Grunebaum and Jason Gary to that list.
Jason fucking Gary, are you serious?
Yes, sir. He is all in.
This is crazy, man. Like, wow, we have like a whole team.
Yeah, we're getting there. There's more to come. I think there are more. Put it this way: those are the ones who are definitely coming.
Yeah.
The rest of them are like they're saying, "I really want to come.
Nice.
I'm not sure if I can come, but I'll be there if I can be."
So the Hebrew Hammer is coming. Is he bringing his rabbits? Doesn't he have a bunch of fucking rabbits or some shit? What about that llama he stole from Chad Marshall? Is he bringing that?
I can call him and ask him if you want.
You should ask him about that.
I'll see if we can get one round to you.
And he's also connected to the Sportsmans, which excites John sexually.
Very few things don't.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what Jason Gary loved when he was in town? Fishing. He loves
I think he probably still loves it, even though he's not in town.
No, he had a lot of...
No, he gave it up, John.
Did he?
Yep.
Said, I'm out of Columbus, I'm throwing my reel in the trash.
Yep.
Right? Isn't that a fishing thing, a reel?
That's right. I talked to Jason Gary this morning, and I said, Jason, it's Morgan. It's me calling you on my way to work, as I do. Are you still a fisherman? Are you
still a fisher?
Yeah. Are you fisher? Are you fishing? And he said, no, I gave it up, Morgan, tell John. And so this is me doing that.
Thanks. Well, that's good. I'll return his birthday gift.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. Sean, hi. Welcome back.
Yes, meanwhile, back at the film.
Yes.
We will also we're going to carry on announcing more players. We have more.
Really?
We have more who are coming.
Are you announcing those on the ATX throw-in show?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
Yes, Sunday morning, 9 a.m. No, we've got more coming. We just need to make sure that there's dot the I's and cross the T's with the travel arrangements and
What
so
about
on.
the lowercase J's? Don't those?
Where applicable. Yes.
Okay, what about people that aren't players, former players? Are there any celebrity fans from years past?
Do you mean Ashley Ignelsi?
Everyone hates
She'll
her.
be there. She'll be there. She'll be hosting it, in fact.
Awesome. Is she going to bring her moon rocks?
I'll ask her if it really makes a difference to your evening.
Good. Hashtag good vibes. Good vibes.
I know. You got to get them out there. You got to get them in a bowl of water. And
right,
you got to
John.
let them soak up the rays, the moon rays.
How else are you supposed to charge them?
Right, exactly.
What I can tell you is everybody I've spoken to from the 08 team
has moon rocks.
Well, they probably do now. But in other news, they're also super excited to come here, and it's. I was glad because
I love all expense paid trips
Eddie
too.
Gavin even responded.
That is the most crazy part
Eddie
of
Gavin
this.
responded to me when I
Now, he
approached
said
him.
no, but the fact that he actually responded is insane.
He said he was very polite. He said I politely I decline, but
That's out of character.
Yes.
Okay, so can you walk me through this? This is going to
He's
be
a
the longest
glory
segment
hound.
too ever. You got an email address for Edward Gavin.
Yes, I did.
Like
And
Eddie Gavin has a fucking email address
and
now.
I contacted him, and he responded.
He has a job. He's
a
coach at a school. So yeah, of course he's.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I've left. I mean, I've left the door open for him. I said, look, if you change your mind, I got a seat for you.
Yeah, we
I will
said
get
that
you
to
here.
him back in 2013. He hasn't walked through it yet.
No. I mean, I was kind of hoping that once we get a good group of the 08 guys, maybe we'd be able to emotionally blackmail him. But I haven't really got time. I've got a film to finish. So.
All right. What about Chris Doran?
Chris Doran said he's coming. I haven't checked in with him lately, but he was all over it when I said, "Do you want to go to it?" So I assume he's going to be there.
This is international soccer celebrity Chris Doran, and you're listening to ACES Radio.
Love that guy. I know where he's at right now if you want to go talk to him.
Oh, yeah?
He's in my bedroom.
All right.
Deep and wide. Anyway.
Maybe that should be in the film. I don't know.
Moving on.
Yes.
So talk to me about the difference between the first
whole
version
new film.
and the second version.
Well,
will there be a difference?
Yeah, quite a dramatic difference. There's a difference in content and there's a difference in tone. The first film was kind of warm and fuzzy. If you're a Crew fan, this one is not that.
That's what I want to talk to you about. You piece of shit.
This one is a reality check, and this gets serious now.
Follow-up question: do you think we need a reality check? What are you trying to put us through?
yeah. I think we do, because I think there's a mentality that pre-court sports ventures are the Keystone Cops, and that might be true, and they may also still succeed, and that's the emergency, and that's the impression I got from 2.5 days in Austin was, this is really serious. People are not laughing. They're saying, let's make this happen. There's a lot of
They're saying
opposition.
it now?
There's a lot of opposition from the Greens, the environmentalists, people who love their parkland, and that's perfectly understandable. That would happen in any city, and I have it on from several sources in Austin over the past weekend that even the people who are working, I want to say the lobbyists themselves, but the people who are associated with them have said PSV came in here with an incredibly entitled attitude that I think they thought that they would be welcomed as conquering heroes, delivering the great glory of professional sport, and totally underestimated the fact that if Austin had wanted professional sport, they'd already have it. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that they will not succeed. And that is the reality check of the second film, is that the first one was, as I say, kind of cheery and uplifting. This one gets a lot darker. It's not without laughs. I mean, it still rides the emotional roller coaster. There's a lot of laughs in there. There's a lot of stuff that you really, really loved to watch and is uplifting. And there is an uplifting sense into it because it, as you always say, this is not over.
Yeah.
You know, but
I've heard that.
There is a certain message in the film that this is much like cancer. You know, you can laugh during cancer treatment, but ultimately you've still got cancer and it can still kill you. So at some point it gets serious, and that's kind of what this film is.
I love the cancer part. Like, that's just the best.
Yeah. Yeah, it's.
I've said to John 100 times during the scene, I'm like, you know what Save the Crew needs more of is reminders about the seriousness of cancer. And John always says,
yeah,
he laughs and he says, Morgan, you're so great. You're one of the best. And I said, thank you, John. Yeah,
You're
lovely.
not going to really get a response from me because I'm doing stuff.
Have you saved the crew yet? You've been typing enough.
I'm doing things.
I admire that John is busy, and I relate to it because when I'm not sitting here, I've spent the entire day editing, answering people's questions about stuff, you know, doing interviews for the Dispatch and so on. It's just, if anyone out there has made a film, it is making internet videos 2 or 3 minutes is they might think that that's the same as making a film. It's totally different because you have to. There's so much travel involved. I've been all over the country. You have to set up interviews. You have to film it. You have to do a post production on it. It's a 90-minute film. The first film was 70. This is a 90-minute film. So.
I know that. So this may be like above your pay grade. Maybe like this is more serious than your film. But I know the producers of the Dave Greeley Show, which is an actual series, right? Like, you know, you made one film. Oh, good for you, Sean. These guys made 10. Yeah. And I can confirm they work very hard on it.
Well, I haven't seen it, but good luck to them.
Yeah, it's great. It's on YouTube.
I've been too busy making a film of my own to watch anybody
Well, they
else.
made 10 of them, so go fuck yourself. Now, you have brought to us 4 clips. There are 4 audio clips that we'd like to play. I have them all on my professional studio iPad.
Yes. This is an exclusive.
That's
right. No one else, other than the people I filmed with, has heard these before. So these will be in the film.
Some of them haven't even heard it.
Yeah, actually, the people, other than the moment they said the words, haven't heard it back.
They were heavily drugged. They don't remember it.
Indeed so.
So I have 4 of them. I'm going to play them. Then we, you know, as a panel, which is a Latin term for podcast hosts, we can go around and give our color impressions of the rough lads in Cincinnati. Which one do you want me to start with?
Well, let's start with Ali Moreno.
Okay.
This is Ali Moreno. We talked about the day of the 2008 MLS Cup, and in the film he describes the emotions of the day and scoring the goal, and you know what went through his mind, and where, you know, all those sorts of things. But this clip specifically concerns the full-time whistle once the title was won, and what he did on the pitch immediately afterwards.
Ali Moreno, back to you.
I turned right away specifically to what now was our version of the Nordic in LA. They had that corner taken as well, and it's not like I'm focusing on one person in particular. I just see a yellow wall. I just see the black and yellow everywhere, and I know those are my people. And I don't do this often, but I started crying, and even now it gets a little emotional for me because it was special. It really was, and for what we had overcome and what we were and what we are in that moment, all the things that had gone on in that season were very special. So even now it becomes special to me. And I can't fake this. It's deep in my heart, really.
Goddamn. Okay. I didn't know it was going to be like this kind of thing.
Yeah, you might want to edit out John's comments before that because it kind of juxtapositions the mood. Yeah.
I always do. That was really like serious.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Yeah, and Ali was very. The emotions came down the lens, and they come down the lens in the film. How much he cared about what he achieved in Columbus and how much he continues to care about the club.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most people who are listening to this will know that he is one of the champions of the Save the Crew movement.
He's been a hell of an ally.
Yeah, and he continues. I mean, there's a scene in this where he shows me his sort of trophy cabinet, all his medals and everything.
Yeah.
And next to his 2008 MLS winners medal, is a Save the Crew scarf.
Goddamn.
Which he pulls off the shelf in the film and shows it to you.
Goddamn.
And it's across from the picture of him with President Obama.
Is it safe to say that he is now the second person that's cried on film after Karen Crognell for Save the Crew?
A lot of people have done that.
Sad.
Yeah, it's
literally sad.
But I think it's great.
That sounded tremendous. Alex Thomas, you know Ale Moreno. You're a fan of his work. Your thoughts on that clip, my friend?
Oh, I mean, it's not surprising to me. I've told the story before on this show. Like, he, I won't say had a large part in the formation of the Nordeca, but he was there in the upper 90, addressing the small group of us the few times we met, and he was passionate about it, and he was all about getting that energy going. I mean, the symbiosis between the fans and the team that year was something special, and I think that of course anytime you win something that big, you're going to have fond memories of it. But like anybody that was part of that process, you have a feeling of architecture and the fact that you laid a couple blocks in that edifice that now sits in history. I mean, it's really cool. I'm just thrilled that he recognizes that and he's comfortable enough to go public with it, and that it's close to his heart. I think it's amazing and it's wonderful.
He has a big platform. He uses it to champion the things that he loves. I know that I probably speak for the rest of the Crewniverse when I say that I can't hear Seven Nation Army without thinking about him.
He actually talked about that on camera.
Does he?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to make this particular cut of the film.
What the fuck? You don't know. You're the goddamn director. You're like making the film.
I want it to go in,
Yeah.
but it's superfluous to what we're actually talking about.
Yeah,
so
Ben
it
tells me
might
that
be
all the time.
might be a nice sort of DVD extra. Maybe we'll put it out online because it is fun listening to talk. Because he said the same thing. He said, I can't listen to Seven Nation Army now without hearing my own voice. And actually, the story he told me was his son is named Alejandro, and his son, it's Crew Stadium, said to him one day after a game, he said, Dad, why did they keep chanting my name? And he said, well,
they're drunk.
And Ali Sr. said, well, son, I guess you must be a really good player.
Yeah, that's great, man. Wow, I love that guy. Forgot how much I love that guy. What's the second clip? What you got for us?
Second clip is Grant Wall. Spoke to Grant Wall in New York. He talks in detail about the events of October the 16th in this film. And this is a little tease of how it started as a normal day and quickly changed.
All right. Grant Wall in 3, 2, 1.
My wife was actually out of town for work, and so I was in the office at Sports Illustrated here in New York much later than I typically am. It just so happened that late that afternoon, I got a text. I've been covering the sport for a very long time, over 20 years, and you build up sort of a network so that when I try and break news, which is part of my job, I usually have about 30 to 40 people that I will contact. But it also means that when news is breaking, sometimes those people contact me. And that was a fascinating day because I first got that text late afternoon on October 16th, which was a Monday. And my initial response was, whoa.
Goddamn. I didn't even check to see when that was going to end because I'm having PTSD thinking about that day.
Yeah, obviously I don't want to give away the whole thing because I want you to come and see the film. But it goes on.
That's what they call a tease in the
that is
industry.
a tease.
Yeah.
But it is a good 2 or 3 minute part of the film just talking about the events from when that text message arrived on Grant Wall's phone to the moment he broke the story, and he explains why he had to go with the story at 11 p.m. that night. Which is obviously an antisocial hour to go with
not to Crew fans.
Well, indeed not, but it's an antisocial hour if you're trying to break news that you want people to talk about all day, to break it at 11 o'clock at night. But he does explain how it came to be that way, it's a fascinating segment.
John Zadar, the wet boy.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of text messages on October 16th.
Yep.
You and I were texting on October 16th, around 10:40 p.m., and he says to me, Morgan, first of all, let's get this out of the way. You smell great. You're great with kids. Everyone knows it.
But I'm not going to lick your butt. I appreciate the offer.
I did ask, and you said no.
I declined.
I
have many times before.
You said, I have a source that's telling me that that something bad is going to happen and that the crew might move. Your memories of that night, what do you think when you hear that Grant Wall thing? Are you as, is there PTSD happening in your brain like mine?
I mean, doesn't the experience have to have ended for the PTSD to really be a thing?
That's such a good fucking point.
So no, not really, because my nightmare has never ceased. I wake up every day and I log into it.
Save the crew, the nightmare that never ceases.
Yeah. So, I mean...
That's why you're in charge of the communications channel, John. That's a really good thing to put out there. People love that.
I think it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say about it. But no, I didn't trigger PTSD.
Sean, I haven't heard Grant Wall's voice since I sat next to him before the night before MLS Cup 2015 on Master Report Podcast, which is now a conference call. I forget how he sounds like a beautiful white woman,
and he's every bit that in person.
He's a wonderful, beautiful white woman.
He's very
like Dante Washington.
He's a very, very handsome.
Also
man.
Sounds like a beautiful white woman on the phone.
But also,
like, who are we talking to? Who is
but also,
this?
he matches Grant Wall. He matches those looks with intelligence as well, because he sure knows his history.
The guy's good, man. Talk to me real quick before we go on to the next clip about, all kidding aside, getting, Grant Wall to talk to you about it. And, you've talked to some guys that, like, again, Eddie Gavin, like, replied to a fucking email ever. Like, that's amazing. What has that been like, trying to get, celebrities like Ashley Knelzy and Chris Doran to talk to you on camera?
Well, Chris isn't in the film, unfortunately, but...
well, I'm not going anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I had no preconceived notion about who would and would not respond.
Alexi Lawless.
Yeah, Alexi was great. I mean, as soon as I contacted Alexi, he said, "Sure, when do you want to do it?"
Yeah.
He was all over it right from the start, and he was the consummate professional. I love that he has these incendiary opinions, which seem to really divide people. Some people absolutely hate what he has to say.
Oh, it's almost like it's his
almost
job.
Like that's the only reason he says anything ever.
But the fact remains is that he, somebody sometimes has to say these things. And,
I like his shtick. For what it's worth.
And he was great in the first film because the way I employed him, if you want to use that word, in the first film was as the counterweight. I didn't want it to be just crushingly pro-Columbus, is a pre-quarter terrible human
being.
He's
the Ayn Rand Atlas Shrugged.
I needed somebody to say, well, hang on a minute, there is a counter.
What are you going to do? Business metrics, man. I mean, like, what are you going to fucking do, right?
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Clip 3, who we got coming up, Sean?
Clip 3 comes from Cincinnati. I went...
Oh, sorry, that plays automatically. You mentioned the Rough Lads.
I went down to Cincinnati, and I want to say hello, by the way, to Ronnie Salerno and all the folks down in Cincinnati.
Sorry, when you mention Ronnie, that happens.
Who really gave me a great day there. They showed me around, they probably end up being the funniest part of the film. They were so funny on camera. There was I had a group of 4 supporters. We sat in the Bailey at Nippert Stadium, and discussed the situation with the crew. And what they said was, as this clip leads into this clip, is they wondered how come, to use their words, we're used to mediocrity in Cincinnati. And FC Cincinnati, right out of the gate, was a roaring success. And then they heard about the possibility of the crew...
Not as an actual soccer team.
What's that?
Not as an actual team that plays the sport of soccer.
Roasted.
Well, I don't know. Look at their results against Columbus. I mean...
Sean, goddammit. All right, edit that out. 3, 2, 1.
That's actually in the film, by the way.
Oh, great.
But the putting that aside, the reason it's in the film is because they talk about the Hell is Real derby and how they want that to continue. And they said that was the best thing that they went through that year, and it was good for Columbus and Cincinnati, and it would be good for the game if it stays that way. But putting that aside, this clip is when they realize that perhaps their success out of the gate is not entirely a coincidence.
All right, fuck boys, back to you in 3, 2, 1.
It kind of started justifying some of the tinfoil hat theories we had. Like, why is Carl Lindner suddenly throwing untold millions into a soccer club? Why have they made this product so good so early? If they were simply dipping their toes in, why would, maybe not their earlier marketing efforts, but some of their marketing efforts, why were they so well done, so much money clearly put into this if they didn't know something? So it kind of started dawning on us like, wait, were we the destined replacement for them? And it felt pretty shitty for a long time that we were kind of a pawn used in that MLS chess game.
But then we decided we didn't give a fuck because we were getting a soccer team, and now we don't feel shitty about it anymore. Okay. Who the fuck was that guy? Who was that?
That was Max Ellerby.
I don't know who that is.
He bangs the drum in the Bailey.
Nice.
And they're so...
he's the Alex Thomas of Cincinnati.
They were very... they were so funny on camera. And, and they're very, very pro-Columbus.
We give the Cincinnati people a lot of shit because like they can take it because they have.
That's in the film. That's exactly. They say. I think Max said, "We'll say go fuck yourselves in the game and online, and then afterwards we'll go back to the bar and have a beer together."
I mean, like the people that we roast the most on this show are FC Cincinnati like supporter group leaders, like Josephie and fucking Rambo Gooner. Like those guys are, they like, Rambo Gooner, I mean, he told me, John, this is what he said to me. He says, Morgan, I lead the fandom. I have invented this culture. It's just me.
Did he?
He did say that.
Their part of the film ends with them, I think Max says, just to reiterate, to go put things back to normal.
Yeah.
So we love them, but fuck Columbus. Really fuck Chicago. And then it sort of tails off, and then they just start, you hear this rant as it goes off, they go off into the sunset, and they start saying, F this team, F that team.
You said to me out on the porch in between segments 1 and 2 that they told you that I smelled great and I was great with kids.
That is true. I got that on camera.
They did. They actually.
That is a real thing. That actually happened. It's not. I cut it from the film, but I do have it if you need to.
Please, Pam is gonna love it. I will use that against her.
And I didn't tell them. What I did was I handed them. It was a scene where I handed them a Save the Crew scarf and said, "Discuss the following prop."
Yeah.
And they went, "Well, it smell? It smells great, and it seems like it would be good with kids."
Oh my fucking god!
Well, they're describing that scarf, not you.
Oh shit! I probably wore that scarf or something, John. That's probably why.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Sean, back to you. So, in 25 words or less, as a Crew fan who is also like an admitted outsider, who's more of a Liverpudlian, where are you from? Shrewsbury?
I'm a Swiss Columbus fan.
Shrewsbury. You're a Shrewsbury lad. Is there some part of you that's like, this is gross because you're making the rivals like each other and fight for each other?
No, I don't. I've never seen soccer that way. I mean, when Liverpool play Manchester United, for instance,
is that your biggest rival?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. Obviously, I want Manchester United to lose 9-0. But
is Manchester United a bigger rival than Everton for Liverpool?
For me, absolutely. Oh. Yeah, because Everton haven't been. I mean, Everton hasn't won the league since '87, which, admittedly, is only 3 years longer than
I was
taken
say,
for us.
When was the last time you guys won the league?
But Liverpool have been contending to win the league. Everton haven't been there for a long time. But Man United, of course,
5th, 6th.
We've almost done something.
We've almost won the league, which is a whole separate.
Everybody from second place to 20th has been contending to almost win the league.
Well, when was the last time Everton led the league in the second half of the season? Probably 87.
I literally didn't hear about that team until you just started talking about them.
So anyway, we digress.
Yeah, all right.
Whenever something like this happens, Liverpool and Man United fans call a truce, essentially, as would fans of any two teams in English football. So if let's say if the Glazers tomorrow announce plans to move Manchester United to London because of the business metrics, there'd be uproar. There'd be almost a civil war in England. It's just under no circumstances.
I think they should do it.
Fans of Man City would protest.
Well, what are you going to do? They're trying to build a stadium. They can't get a loan, Sean. I mean,
Yeah, but it's an analogy. It's a good analogy because Manchester is not the economic hub of England. London is, and it's difficult to get players to come and live in Manchester when their girlfriends are always saying the shopping's better in London. So they might say if they had the capability of doing it, Manchester United, the owners might say we'd be doing better if we were in South Kensington or West London, because there's just better business metrics there.
I don't know where any of those places are, but I can relate to whore girlfriends. Our fourth clip comes to us from who or whom, and tease us here a little bit.
This is in Austin.
God damn it!
This is what I did. I went out to some of the proposed stadium sites. And this is McCalla Place, which is the one that's been pilloried as being a nuclear waste dump.
Have you showered since you came back?
I have not. This is the mud on my shoes.
Oh, my God.
That's mud from where the dead body of the Columbus crew will be buried if somebody in this high level in the city doesn't act
Well, you're
fast.
not getting Kevin Burns. We're not digging him up, Sean. You can't take his corpse.
So this is Josh Jackson and Andrew Urban from the MLS in Austin group standing at McCalla Place. We're standing on the mud in this desolate tundra surrounded by a very well built up area. And what they're doing is they're discussing how the stadium would look and what it would be like if there's an opening day game on that patch of land.
Lovely can't wait to hear this in 3, 2, 1.
One of my criticisms has been, this is not a really pretty area right here. But when you're in the stadium, it's not going to matter. We're kind of sunken down a little bit. So if you try to build a beautiful, just piece of art stadium, you might not see it. You might just drive right past it.
It's still going to be beautiful no matter what once you're in there. This land can be made beautiful. Look what they've done over there at the Domain. It's amazing. I think the first game day I would think of would be, I wish my father-in-law was here for this. He played in some of the original municipal soccer leagues in Austin in the 70s. He brought my wife and my sister-in-law into the team when they said that girls couldn't play because there wasn't a girls' league, and he just made it happen. Wow. So they were some of the first girls to play in Austin co-ed youth soccer in the mid-70s. I got to watch my daughter. She was one of the kids who got to walk out on the field with the Aztecs. As one of those kids that walks out during the anthem. I played high school soccer at House Park for Anderson High School. It's just this. To me, if we're standing in the stadium in a few years, it's the culmination of a dream. I mean, as somebody who's lived in Austin for over 30 years, loves this game, loves this town. It doesn't get any better than this.
All right. Austin Aztecs fans checking in. Sean, I feel like it. I mean, you look like you might have a hot take, Alex, but I think I should not.
It's so authentic. Yeah. It's so ambitious.
I mean, can I ask you a question, Sean?
Yeah.
And I mean this legitimately. It's going to come out like I'm an asshole, but that's that's kind of who I am. Even when I'm being authentically ambitious, I sound like an asshole.
Can't confirm.
Thank you, Alex. That guy was a self-admitted Austin Aztecs fan who that team was taken to another city.
Yeah.
I want to know about the mental gymnastics it takes to support a soccer community being destroyed so that you can potentially have one. When it's happened to you.
Well, firstly, every single person I spoke to in Austin said, we feel really bad for what the Columbus Crew fans
everything's
are going
fine
through.
then. Oh, Jesus Christ, I didn't know they felt fucking bad. Oh, well, I mean, you should have told us that. I hope that's the opening scene of the film so we can be like, oh, they feel bad about the destruction of our community? I guess everything's fucking, see what I mean? I'm doing, sorry, Sean, go ahead. I'll edit that out.
As I was saying.
Do we need to clap?
They all said...
Can you do a reset? Can you take deep breaths?
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't bash the microphone. They all said, we feel really bad about that. This is not the way that we would have planned this to happen. We're also simultaneously aware that this is our only chance of making this happen. Because if we don't accept this, there's a very high chance that San Antonio will be in the mix.
Yeah.
Dallas and Houston and Austin are out. And one thing...
It'd be terrible if they just supported that USL team and came up like everybody else.
One thing that was prevalent was we're sick...
You're not on the show. Shut up, Darby.
You can't hear me. The only way I can sleep with her is to roofie her. So
Darby, just for everyone's clarity there, Darby just endorsed date rape.
Alert. Darby Schnarfus has entered the game.
Austin endorses.
Yeah, okay, Sean, back to you. Sorry, you knew this was going to happen. You knew we were going to be very angry about this. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, I hope everyone's angry about it because it's a real thing. Yeah. And there is in Austin, it's not a possibility. It is considered a probability. And that is an emergency situation for people in Columbus. Well, everybody's watching the slapstick humor of Precourt. That doesn't mean that they are going to fail.
Yeah. I've said it before, man. Like, you can sign a contract to buy land when you shit all over your legs. You know, like Dave Greeley's been shitting all over his own legs for, 4 fucking months? No, I'm sorry, and 2 years and 4 months. It doesn't mean he can't sign a contract to buy some land.
And I would also add that everyone I've spoken to, no one has said that they think that Greeley is especially good at his job. But by the same token, they also think that is not a barrier to entry on this. And they can eventually get it done.
Hold on, this is a breaking news thing. You have to stop because I have to do this thing now because the song is playing. We interrupt this regularly scheduled throw-in show on 105.7 Fox, bringing this bit of breaking news. Sean Kelly has heard from people that Dave Greeley isn't very good at his job. That's it. Back to you. I'm glad we've all figured this out.
When I say people think that, I'm talking about people who are directly connected.
We interrupt this regularly scheduled podcast for a follow-up to the earlier breaking news. We go now live to the continuing champion who's on scene. Morgan? Thanks, Eric. Per Sean Kelly, people that know Dave Greeley also think that he's terrible at his fucking job. I'm glad we figured that out as well.
Back to the Aztecs.
Yes.
The reason the Aztecs failed was partly because they played at House Park, and House Park they couldn't sell alcohol. So that seriously hit their ability to draw fans. And then, of course, it all got washed away by a flood. And in the case of when they moved to Orlando, it was an overnight thing. So they actually get that. They get that emotion. It wasn't as they'd be the first to say that it wasn't as deep of an emotion. It wasn't 2 decades worth of MLS. It was 2 years of USL. But they did wake up one morning to find there was no more team. So they get that. And they all said, in an ideal circumstance, there would be a Columbus Crew and we would have an expansion team. We also know that this is our only shot at this because we won't get another one. They all said, we're tired of having second string professional sport or USL. They said this is our only shot at the big leagues. We don't have professional sport here, and this is our only shot at it. So that's why they are pursuing it, even though it's morally not what they would prefer to be doing.
So they don't care about soccer; they just care about having a professional sports team.
Wow,
that's what you just made it sound like.
I think
it could be baseball or basketball or anything. They want a professional sports team.
Well, everybody I spoke to was soccer oriented. So,
well, let me ask you this: if somebody were to say to you, it sounds to me like a scene from The Walking Dead, where there's one group of survivors, another group of survivors, and one group walks up and they're like, our swords are bigger, and this is nothing personal. Ideally, we don't want to cut your fucking heads off, but we are very hungry, and this might be our last chance to eat. Is it not still murder, Sean?
As a filmmaker, it's not for me to decide. It's for you as the viewer to decide.
Yeah.
My job was to film both sides of the thing.
That's an interesting question. How are you handling it as a crew fan? Do you have an off switch?
No, I think you switch into journalism mode. You go there. You think, well, I'm coming here to film the real story. I'm not coming here to bolster my preconceived notion. I could have done that in Columbus and spent no money at all.
But they know you're a crew fan on some level.
Yes, everybody knew. Okay, I am ideologically wanting the Crew to stay in Columbus. Yeah. Right? They all knew that, and they knew that they are appearing in a film called Save the Crew.
Yeah.
So they knew that indirectly they could be contributing to their own downfall, because if this film in any way makes a difference, it could affect their ability to have a team. Nevertheless, they still said, this wasn't plan A for us either. You know, and really, this kind of just dropped into our lap. As far as we were concerned, this may have never happened, and now suddenly we have a chance at it, and we think, well, it's either we do it now or we never do it.
Do they know that there are 3 other groups trying to bring MLS to Austin? Are they aware of that?
There's always people wanting to do things. Just the thing is.
But that doesn't answer the question. Are they aware
MLS,
of it?
If you're sitting here in Columbus saying that MLS will succeed at Circuit of the Americas, I'm telling you it's not going to, because I know Circuit of the Americas because Formula One's my day job, and MLS will never succeed there.
Well, there's also a racetrack next to Sporting Mercy Park, and they seem to do all right. But no, are they actually aware of the fact that there are 3 other groups trying to bring MLS there? That's a real question.
Yeah, okay. They absolutely are.
But still, they're like, this is our only chance.
They've chosen the evil one, though.
Yeah, this is the one that says, we're ready to move.
Yeah.
We're ready to build a stadium. We will do all of these things, as opposed to merely talking about it. And
I certainly don't want to be the guy that's like, hey, if I were in their position...
What has PSV done, though, but talk about it?
Well, that's a good question. And I would say that at PSV, going back to the whole thing I said about them being slightly Keystone Cops about this, is that they've gone to Austin, and as I said, I have it on good authority that they came in with an incredibly entitled attitude and assumed that everybody in Austin would think, oh my God, professional soccer people, amazing, please have our best land.
Right. Well, that's the attitude we've learned that they've had here.
Yes, exactly. And I would say that's the thing. It's that they've gone in there with the exact same attitude they may have had here and received the same response. Now, that may not stop them, because if Precourt is telling the truth in saying, I will pay for the whole stadium myself and so forth, then, maybe he will. Maybe he's just decided, I didn't want to spend my money in Columbus. I want to spend it in Austin for whatever reason. But
we actually have a clip from Anthony Precourt talking about that. If you want me to play that, and we can get your thoughts on it. Anthony Precourt in 3, 2, 1.
So how about I come over there and go to town on your money and on your ass?
All right, back to you, Sean. Your thoughts?
I didn't meet anybody. I met a lot of people, but I didn't meet anybody who said, we're.
I've met Anthony Precourt.
No, I did meet. I've met people who met Precourt and Greeley, but I didn't meet anybody who said they were so super duper impressive. But they all understand that they hold.
Right, you can be a dipshit and be successful. Look at our president.
Exactly, and in a way, that's what this film has turned into. It's turned into. Don't assume they're going to fail, because they can win at this.
I agree with that.
And the complacency,
you can't.
Yeah, just because you read on Twitter that people in Austin have said A, B, and C things, like the environmentalists have said no to this, no to that, and what have you. That's not going to stop them. Yeah. The very fact that they issued that statement during the fan thing last night shows you all you need to know about the radar, where it's pointing. Like, as far as they're concerned, Columbus is dead.
Yep.
Like, you people no longer exist.
Yep.
And trying to appeal to Precourt Sports Ventures' better nature or Major League Soccer's better nature is futile. And I would also say you're wasting your time directing any anger at Austin, because they didn't ask to be drawn into this. It's an opportunity they've been handed.
Right. They just happened to be the city that he picked. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, it could be anywhere. And they, as I said, they all said, like, we kind of, I mean, what do you do? It's like, well, this is, we've always
no. I mean,
they could say no.
I refuse to be part of this. So.
But I don't think.
But they didn't.
I understand the point they're getting at, as soccer fans. But it's pointless asking them.
Wait, but that's the part you shouldn't understand it in as a soccer fan.
No, I understand the juxtaposition of.
You understand it as a capitalist, as a person who partakes in a fucking capitalism, but as a soccer fan, that's where you should not understand it.
What it comes down to is some people are willing to sacrifice their morals to get what they want, and some aren't.
Right,
and they're willing to overlook something that they clearly think is wrong, but that they've decided isn't wrong enough.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I'd say that they say it's not wrong enough, and they also understand
it's our last chance to make a wrong decision.
If they are living by the sword, they may also die by it. They also understand that if it's a failure in Austin, Precourt might pick up the sticks and go elsewhere, and they get that too. Yeah. They understand. It's not. He's not coming here to marry us and have a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
They understand. Like, well, this guy might be kind of sketchy, but
he's not coming here at all.
Right. He wants some excitement, okay? And if you aren't going to stick your finger up his ass in bed.
Yeah,
there's a bitch down the street that will.
That's exactly what.
And her name is Pam.
Someone said that. Yeah, Doran said that. Yeah. No.
I didn't ask that question directly.
It's worth stating. This is a show where we bust balls. Like, it's just like we barely talk about soccer. We bust each other's balls, and we've said since the beginning of this, like, Austin is not our enemy. They are more like us than they are different from us. I mean, it's, the parallels, it's almost like a doppelganger city. We don't wish any ill will upon, whatever their names are, irrelevant. But,
the Aztecs.
All we're saying, this frustration that's bubbling through, that's bursting through our usually professional, demeanors, John, is saying, that our community is being threatened to be destroyed, and you guys are going, well, I mean, ideally we wouldn't want you to be destroyed. However, it might be the last time we get to take things from people, and if you have to die, I'm sorry, I'm very hungry. So that's why the frustration is coming through. I'm sure they're lovely people, Sean, and I'm sure the mud on your boots is not contaminated by any chemicals at all. Back to you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's up to the viewer to decide that. It's perfectly reasonable for a Columbus person to say, well, look, you're kind of screwing us over. Could you not support us a bit more? And maybe people in Austin think that. There was an interesting array of opinions I found in Austin.
Yeah. And a big shout out to those in Austin that have supported us. There are a ton of them, and we continue to thank them.
Well, a big shout out to the people, as much as I disapprove of what they're doing, but the ones that are pro moving the team there. Like coming on his movie is not, that takes some bravery.
It's called Save the Crew.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, I respect you for being willing to not just, talk the talk, but they're walking the walk
And they
putting
held
themselves out there for ridicule. And we know there are people in both communities that, there are probably people that will find this whoever's guy's name on Twitter and send him some nasty thing. And
parallel paths, John.
Right.
Yeah, there are two paths.
Josh Jackson and Bernie from Atomic Rubbish held a Save the Crew scarf.
Oh my God!
on
They
camera.
touched a piece of fabric.
They were willing to be on camera holding that scarf.
We should deify them. That is incredible. That takes a lot of guts.
Here's one thing that I think.
Did you bring one of our front office paid-for scarves, by the way, that are green and white?
Yes, I did.
Awesome.
You did?
I haven't got it with me tonight, but I do have it back in Columbus.
Awesome, because we paid for that. We actually love to get one.
Yeah,
just because we paid for it and we like to.
I also have one of their excellent T-shirts too. So
we paid for those. Those are great. I mean, anything that we've paid for, we'd like to have one of.
Thank you. Yes, thank you everyone in Columbus for contributing to the production of that shirt.
Yeah.
But I think one of the blind sides that not necessarily people in the Save the Crew movement, like the actual. The core members, I think the core members get this, but the wider community is trolling Austin doesn't help keep the team in Columbus. It makes people in Austin more inclined to not support people in Columbus.
And right back at them.
So, to Austin, it kind of doesn't matter because they don't have the team.
Hey,
the team is
we're
here.
just,
if you want the team,
I agree with you. Trolling is unfortunate and unnecessary.
Yeah. And it's the same with, if you troll Anthony Precourt every day, well...
that guy can barely read.
What makes you think he's going to be?
Wasting your
What makes you think he's going to be more inclined to stay in Columbus if you call him a dick every day?
Yeah, the person who transcribes and reads his emails to him, that guy probably isn't even on duty today.
I mean, he's not going to be able to hear it until tomorrow. I've worked with plenty of people in broadcasting who I think is a dick.
Yeah,
but I don't email them every day and tweet them.
Yeah, that's probably why Chris Dorn isn't coming to this, Sean, because you're talking about him in such poor ways. I can't believe you've done this.
No, I know I'm being devil's advocate there because people in Columbus have plenty of reason to really hate, and hate is a strong word, the incumbent ownership.
Right.
And I totally understand
But you're right. I mean, regardless of how it works out, if the team is to stay here, he's involved.
Yeah.
And shitting on him is not going to incentivize him to work at a deal, be it sell the team to local ownership or stay as the owner.
Right. And issuing the press release that they did in the middle of the Fan Fest yesterday is a massive PR own goal for Precourt.
Yep.
So if Columbus takes the higher ground, the higher moral ground, then if Precourt comes cap in hand back to Columbus, he will presumably feel like, well, I kind of owe them one here because they didn't hurl insults at me during this. I mean, I know people will, but it really doesn't help things. In fact,
we're also treading lightly on victim shaming, by the way. I mean, this is a community that's threatening to be destroyed, and then we're like, yeah, you guys probably shouldn't be assholes. That's what happens when people are
here's
destroyed,
the reason.
so sorry.
Be an asshole once the team is gone. Because
but that's
there's still
not
a chance.
how reality works, man. And I'm not advocating for people tweeting at Precourt. Shit, I am the person who has most publicly over time said, don't fuck with him publicly.
Yeah.
Before this, during this, and I'm sure after this. However, when we're talking about a stadium saying, fuck you, Precourt, we are the crew, or we're talking about people that are just angry that they have shills on staff at the Austin Statesman.
Yeah.
These are, again, our community is threatening to be destroyed here. So you have to just deal with us being kind of upset about it.
Well, who are the shills at the Austin Statesman that you're referring to?
What's the Don Taberry of there?
Oh, Kyle Little or whatever.
Yeah, whatever his name is. No cheering from the press box. Kyle.
Yeah, he's
like a 67-year-old man named Kyle. What? That doesn't even make any sense.
His behavior is pretty disappointing.
Darby, when you were a child, were there any Kyles? I didn't think so. He's your age. That's the joke. All kidding aside, we got to wrap this segment up because, I have to piss really poorly. So we've interrupted you 1,000 times.
He's gonna go piss really poorly.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let the Endeavor staff know to get the mop and bucket ready.
His sheath is on his chest near his mouth.
Yeah, it's a poor piss.
Oh, you could just do it right here. Do you want to just turn around and maybe piss into your own mouth?
I kind of have been. Pissing in my own mouth is what ACES Radio is all about. Sean, back to you.
No, I have a real quick aside. I'm intrigued and I'm wondering after last night's stunt, with the timing of things. Because if that was intentional, then I wouldn't say entered into a new field of play, but it shows intent and it shows poking the bear. And I think Columbus, for the most part, has taken the high road, has remained respectful and constructive. The longer this thing drags on, and the more that league complicity, when they say Columbus is in the playoffs, Columbus keeps the playoffs weird. All these like weird little pokes here and there trying to keep egging us on. How long can the people of this community, who risk losing something that's so dear to them, hold it together? Mm-hmm. When does that break? If
I know
this
that's
gets
a rhetorical question, but it's one worth
late
asking.
But they could
September,
potentially end up in a situation where they aren't welcome in either city. You're right.
Sacramento, here we come.
And so then what? Like if it's late September and we found out that this thing's in full go still, and it's getting ratcheted up, I don't think people are going to be able to hold it together.
Well, I would say my closing statement, if I will, is the end game now is in this city. It has nothing to do with Austin. It has nothing to do with San Francisco. It has nothing to do with Chicago, where you might find Precourt and Greeley and company.
Ann Arbor.
It is. We have got to this stage because there has been a generational apathy towards the Columbus Crew by the big power brokers of this town.
Was that groundwork partly due to prior ownership, do you think? The Hunts falling out? How far back does that go?
That goes back to the 1990s.
Okay.
And when Lamar Hunt built Crew Stadium with $28.5 million of his own money, and Nationwide are bankrolling the Blue Jackets, and Huntington are bankrolling the Columbus Clippers, and everyone is bankrolling Ohio State, and they all say, we're not interested in the Columbus Crew. My message to them would be this. The only thing I could tell you about Columbus, the entire city, anything that's ever to do with it, as a foreigner, before I ever came to America, was there's a Major League Soccer team called the Columbus Crew. I had never heard of Ohio State. I had never heard of the Columbus Clippers. And I had never heard of the Columbus Blue Jackets. The only thing that made it be on the map at all, internationally, was that there was a soccer team called the Columbus Crew, which was in the Major League. This city is on the precipice of throwing that away and throwing itself into international irrelevancy. As the team is moved to Austin, a city that already has the Formula One World Championship. They will then have Major League Soccer as well. And 30 years from now, historians will write, why did they let that happen? No one outside of America knows anything about Columbus.
Right.
And this is the thing that puts it on the map. And they're still shrugging their shoulders. And I would say, I don't like that there's a potential that people who could make that decision and do something about it are leaning on you guys, fans, a Save the Crew movement, and say, look at them. Aren't they doing so much good work? Isn't it great, this city? We're so wonderful, and so it's great that the local support is there. Well, where are you then? Why has it come to this? Because any investor who bought that team would have arrived at the exact same decision. They would have said, I've had years of trying to make this the most Columbus thing possible. The shirt is for Columbus. Everything about it is super duper turbo Columbus. We can't possibly make it more double Douglas Columbus possible. And the needle doesn't move. And if I'm an investor, I'd do the exact same thing Precourt did. Because no one's listening. And they're expecting you to do the heavy lifting for you in this town. Someone at a high level needs to step up and sort that out. Because they're about to basically erase Columbus from its relevancy in international sport. There's nothing else in this town that has that relevance other than Major League Soccer.
You make a great point, though. I mean, and not even just in sport. I mean, this is a city that's striving to be a bigger player as far as American cities go. In a lot of other aspects, and this would be a blow to those moves. This would be a blow to the progress that's been made and that's planned, and not just a blow to it, but potentially a death knell of sorts, because there are people here, that are here specifically because of this soccer team.
Yeah.
And not just, average Joe fans, but, talented people. Who's to say all these people that are involved in Save the Crew, what's to say that the Crew isn't the only reason that some of them are here?
Right.
So you're going to lose some of this talent. You're going to lose things like that. I mean, it's a Columbus issue. It's not a soccer issue.
Yeah, it's easy to say, well, perhaps there should be higher attendance. Well, could the city maybe muck in a bit? I mean, they had more than enough money to build a stadium for minor league baseball. But yet, it's like the Crew are left to fend for themselves. It's like, oh, whatever, they're soccer. They're not Ohio State. We don't care. Well, here's the news for you. No one outside of America cares about Ohio State. We have no idea where that is other than it's somewhere in Ohio. That's the only thing we can tell you as foreigners. We can tell you about the Columbus Crew. They've won a professional championship. They're here now. Why are you not doing something about it before it's too late? Before Austin laughs at you for the next generation and says, ha ha, those idiots in Columbus threw it away. I mean, it's madness. What are they playing at?
I agree with you, Sean. I thank you for saying that. I'm going to turn your original rant into an actual, thing, and it's going to go out via ACES Radio Twitter, which now has over 900 followers.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. Some of that narrative may make it into the film.
Awesome.
But
I agree.
The thing is, I think when you walk out of the film, you will feel like, wow, I hadn't looked at it like that. But now I see where I don't want to say where the enemy is, because that's probably too strong of a word, but we're in the end game now.
Yep.
There's no point in you can make all the effigies of Precourt you want. You can make all the effigies of Garber you want. It won't make the blindest bit of difference not listening anymore. Columbus doesn't exist. The only people that will make it exist now are the people at the top level. So do they want it to be internationally relevant or not? So we're about to find in the next 6 months we'll find out.
Yep. I mean, let that be a statement for all to hear, all the power players in Columbus, that if you think that our faith that people are going to do the right thing is going to be our only weapon in the arsenal of Save the Crew, you're drunk.
Yeah, it's in Columbus, everything is local, local, local. Didn't Dave Greeley say that in the email? He meant it as a derogatory term. It is actually, in Columbus, it's a compliment, because the community spirit is very, very high.
Wait, are you talking about the email that he sent to Mark Abbott?
The fake email, he thought he was corresponding with someone who he wasn't, and he said, oh, it's...
How could that? That guy's really smart, though. How could he...
Dave Greeley, yeah.
Mark, definitely Mark Abbott at gmail.com.
He obviously meant it. He meant it as a derisory thing. But
wait, Dave Greeley verbally attacked the city of Columbus. Wait, Sean, come on. Wait, what?
But in Columbus, local, local, local is a compliment. And to most towns, it would be, because he's got his corporate hat on, obviously.
Sure.
But I would say, okay, well, it's local, local, local. Well, where's Nationwide? Where's Huntington? Where are all these big players?
Well, you know what? They would probably ask, where the fuck are you?
With all due respect to Mafre Insurance, a Spanish company is sponsoring the stadium, and Columbus companies are sponsoring the other stadiums.
Yeah, you know where Columbus companies are, Sean? In fucking Columbus.
Yeah.
Where's Precourt Sports Ventures? Where are the Hunts?
They're not here.
Exactly. That's where the shit gets done, man.
Yeah.
We've never had a fucking chance here. We've never had a chance. It doesn't make you wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely.
It doesn't make you wrong.
It does. It needs local ownership fast. And someone needs to come up with that, or repair the damage somehow miraculously that was created by the rift after the Hunt v. McConnell lawsuit of 1999, which in the film, that's the root of where we
I look forward to that Michael A. Race section of the film.
Yes, he actually discusses it. It wasn't in the first film, but we get
shocking. A. Race brings it back to the Blue Jackets.
It was, it does have every bit to do with that.
No, I'd like the two top people in the ownership of our team to not get lost from 670 to Crew Stadium. I mean, there are only a couple turns. I think that would go a long way. Maybe the CEO of Cardinal Health would be like, oh, that guy didn't get fucking lost going to the fairgrounds from the airport this time. Maybe we'll invest in the team. Anyway, Sean, I want to thank you for stopping by.
Pleasure as always.
This has been the worst episode ever. I can't believe you came back. I can't believe you did this.
We're about to watch the worst film ever.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Go ahead, Alex.
What's your,
I didn't know we were stopping the Alex Thomas show.
One question.
All right.
Out of this whole process, what have you found the most rewarding? Because you put so much time into it, and so much effort. Is there anything that popped out of the woodwork making this that you found in yourself, or
feel free to say ACES Radio.
It's a good question. I've not really thought about it because
you're still doing it, right?
Yeah, it's still doing. I mean, it's still it's still 12 hours a day to get this thing finished in time for next week. But the most rewarding thing, I think, seeing how fans in this town really care about this team. It's not just another traveling circus rolling in and rolling out. People have put their lives into this, and this was particularly true in the first film. This second film is a little bit less based on emotion and more upon the business realities. The first film, there was so much emotion expressed down the lens when I was filming, and I had so many people come up to me and say, thank you so much for doing this. We need someone to tell our story. No one's telling our story, and that was the most gratifying thing. And there was also the reaction when the film finally went out, because it was nerve-wracking, because I was worried. I felt the responsibility of the city of Columbus on my shoulders in those edit days, because so many people had said those things. And I thought, well, if I screw this up, I could make it worse. I could end up making it more likely that Precourt will leave town. And
a lot of people are saying that's what happened.
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah. But thankfully, the response was good. It was long-listed for the International Football Film Festival in Berlin.
Nice.
This second film, when I was in Austin, people said, we saw the first film, and we really liked it. And it made us understand better what people in Columbus are going through. It's easy to be dispassionate and detached from it, but it's just a load of people on internet, avatars and stuff like that. But when you actually see the face-to-face, the reality of it, I think that was the most gratifying thing to me is thinking, wow, I actually, it may end up making zero difference whatsoever to the decision making at the top, but to make a difference to someone's life in so much as, well, at least somebody tried to tell our story. It may make no difference, but at least somebody cared enough to do it. That was the most gratifying thing. I would say I've done 15 years in Formula One, and the first crew film was the most heartening, sort of life-affirming project that I've ever worked on for that reason.
Well, thanks for doing it, man.
Thank you. I hope people understand the tone of the second film, because I want the crew to stay, and ultimately, I think that comes through. But it's a tricky time now.
We'll see if you want the crew to stay. Talk to me at like 10:45 on Friday, March 9th. I'll tell you whether Sean Kelly is a turncoat communist or not. Thank you again, Sean, for coming on. Again, you were the first guest in ACES Radio history. You are now the most recent, which is a title you will hold for 1 week. Enjoy that while it lasts.
Thank you so much.
If you've enjoyed the shitlordery on segment 2, I've got some terrible news for you. We're coming back with your hot takes on segment 3. Yvonne Seagull just walked through the door. Darby Schnarfus is here. Adam's here. I'm here. Alex is leaving. Thank Christ. Bye-bye. It's the season kickoff party. All 7 of us. We are here, and we're telling you you're making a big mistake by listening to ACES Radio.
Hot, sicker than your average. Down like goose, and I'm fly like Maverick. With a savage attack in a mouth like a mash, spitting fuego, homie. It ain't tricking if it's magic illusions. Indubitably juvenile. My crew can do it, and we do it well. Rock around the clock all across the nation. Got a lot of sky miles and a reputation of making earthquakes every time we land. Cause stopping ain't an option or a part of the plan. Fools get to filming while I'm running on jet fuel. Now pay close attention, cause I'm ready to let you know what I'm all about, child. I got that style that you come to love, and I'ma stay fly till the day I die, spitting fresh to death from above. Get it, David F. Man, you don't stop. David, you don't stop. We came to rock it till the city takes off. Mr. Captain, yeah, I'm an ace pilot, yeah. I wanna spin my wings and fly to all the people in coach, yeah. And to my first class folks, yeah. We'll show you how to scrape the sky.
Oh, yeah, baby. Ignorant slots, shitlords, 40-year-old man-childs, and crew union founders in prison alike. Welcome back. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, you've made yet another tragic decision to stick with us from segment 1, segment 2, to segment 3, and by default, seasons 1 to season 2 to season 3. It's ACES Radio. It's a dumpster fire. Why are you here? Goddamn. Brought to you by Blood and Urine, as always. I want to go ahead and welcome back to the program everyone's favorite ancient ruin, Darby Schnarfus. Darby, welcome back.
Thank you very much. I apologize for missing the first 2 segments. I was at a child's birthday at Dave & Buster's.
I've roasted you already for that.
Have you? Great.
Yeah.
I did return the fun van. I know you wanted me to pick up any unattended children. There were none. I apologize for that.
I just respect that you tried. That's an ambition right there.
Yeah.
You were at Dave & Buster's for a failing mini tailgate birthday party.
Correct. And I did realize that once I had left that I had been, playing games that thousands of children had played. And so I probably have like Zika and bubonic plague and whatnot on my hands. So I came in here, I dipped them in bleach, I burned them.
Good.
I'm basically ready to go.
Everyone loves that joke. That was great. The thing is, you drove over here, and that was the joke you thought of the whole time. I mean, like...
Right. I had a lot of time.
You are not in mid-season form, my friend.
No,
God damn.
No.
I think it's funny, the only part of an entire season of ACES Radio that we enjoy is, segment 1 and segment 2 of the first episode, because by the time segment 3 rolls around, we know we have to read hot takes, and everyone's tired.
John's already checked out.
Yeah, John's, slacking. Have you saved the crew yet, John?
I'm listening.
Okay,
Good.
great.
All right.
I asked you a question, but no, that's fine.
You know the answer. That's like the 5th time you've asked it.
You
in
have
this
not
show.
saved the crew?
No.
Oh, God damn it.
If I had, I would just have gotten up and walked out.
Yeah, I would have gone right with you. Thanks to Sean Kelly for stopping by on segment 2. I think maybe I can't remember. I was like I'm blind with rage most of the time. So I hope that we did a good job of staying calm and not like overreacting or just reacting. So if I did anything or said anything that was offensive, welcome to ACES Radio. You know, fucking A. Darby, what if I told you there was a cure for the scourge that is Yvonne Seagull sitting there knowing I know that she has a song to sing and I'm not ready for it? What if I told you that there was a cure for that?
I don't even know.
That's right, Darby. Yeah. They say the only cure for the scourge that are seagulls.
Is it knowledge?
It is hot takes.
Nothing is impossible. Make your dreams come true.
And now, an ACES Radio exclusive. The battle for the grand prize. Hot takes from the massive.
You're not going to stop there. We got the grand prize.
Hot takes from Twitter.
He's heating up.
Hot takes from you.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't, Walter.
Yes, you can.
No. See, there was going to be a thing where I was like, oh, he definitely can't because he's dead, because Greg's dead.
Oh, yeah, R.I.P. in pieces, Greg.
All right, we can start this up. 3, 2, 1. No, you can't, Walter. Walter, you cannot. Walter, you will not. I honestly thought that like maybe Greg would give the puppet to one of us and just be like, carry on the legacy, my boy.
You don't want to put your hand inside the puppet after Greg has had it for this long.
That's the word on the street.
That is what people are saying, Darby. You don't want to do that. John, we move now to the subreddit known as The Massive, where I remind you, as always, these hot takes are organized automatically by their level of fiery fucking hotness. We have no standings to read, so we're just going to go right to it, Darby, if that's all right with you.
I'll allow it.
I think if this works out real nice tonight, where we don't read standings, maybe we just do that all season.
Totally cool with that.
Okay.
Totally cool with that.
Wait, that's actually the only part that Morgan doesn't enjoy, so I advocate for it. In fact, next week, everybody create as many usernames as you can.
No, I wouldn't do that.
And just submit the shittiest hot takes possible.
Yeah, hey, it's
we'll
not too
spread out
late.
the
We can
votes.
still not have Darby on this season. Of the show.
I did. I can edit it.
Yvonne's right there.
Yeah.
We could
Breaking
literally just make them switch seats.
Well, then I have to get professional announcer man to record the name Levon Seagull, and that costs $96 per time that he literally has to send me an MP3 file.
Oh.
And that guy's an Atlanta United fan, so fuck him. Moving on, John. To the subreddit known as The Massive, and I've already reminded you how it's organized, from user Moving the Fuck On. All right, with 12 points. Quote, welcome back, shitlords. This edition of the Massive Report podcast is brought to you by... Oh, wait, you're kidding. He didn't just say what I think he did he? And Aussie Greg said, nothing, you idiots. Aussie Greg's dead. He's locked in John's basement. So will the real Dave Greeley please stand down and put one of those briskets in each hand down and be proud to be out of your job and thoroughly screwed? And one more time, loud as you can, save the crew. Because he's Dave Greeley. Yes, he's hella greedy. All his Austin bots are authentically shitty. So won't the real Dave Greeley please stand down? Please stand down. Please stand down. End quote. Holy shit. Darby Snarfus, your thoughts?
I mean, it's no Humpty Dance, but it's pretty sweet.
Now, just to let you guys know, that was an Eminem song. I know you old guys probably don't know who that is.
M&M's, like, they don't melt in your hand.
Yeah, the poor man's Reese's Pieces.
Yeah,
yeah.
The poor man's Reese's Pieces?
Yes, that's how it works.
First of all, it's pronounced Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces. I'm sorry, I forgot we're in Ohio here.
Yeah, thank you very much. John Zidar, your thoughts?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
You still love segment 3?
Yep.
John's in mid-season form.
Great to be back. Hey, Yvonne, you're sitting like 5 inches from the microphone. If you want to, like...
I just assumed it was turned off.
It is not.
It's never turned off. It's how it works now.
It's split.
Yeah. It's always, if Darby's on, it's on.
Yeah, that's right. Moving on. From user Greeley Bad Ideas.
Oh, my God. This is such a theme.
7 points. Quote, I think during the home opener I'm going to wear my blue University of Michigan alumni polo in the Nordeca while masturbating a skunk. Hashtag skunkspunk.
Skunk spunk?
End quote. Darby Schnarfers, your thoughts?
I feel like there's going to be a new puppet on the show this season.
No, God, no. Please, no. No. No.
I don't understand the Michigan thing. Is that where Dave Greeley's from?
You're goddamn fucking right, he is.
Oh, okay.
That's like one of the worst... okay, maybe it is the worst thing about Dave Greeley.
Is it really?
Not the fact that he, like, imitates a cow. You know, like, really, of all animals, you're imitating a cow? and you're trying to destroy Cowtown, well, see, that's why it's ironic. That's why the Dave Greeley Show was such a huge success, Darby.
This changes everything for me now.
But he's a fucking Michigan fan. Levels. If you go to his Twitter account where he's literally never tweeted.
He has a Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh.
At Dave Greeley.
Are you sure that's not just someone else?
There is
Hello,
a-
Shane Paulson.
How do you know that that's him? Yeah.
There is a
'Cause he
Dave
follows
Greeley
me.
on Twitter that's not him, though. So, like, be careful if
No,
you're
no, no.
directing hate. There is a...
I'm not talking about Lyndon B _
No, I'm not either.
DGS.
Because nobody's ever
No, I'm not
experienced
either.
unwarranted hate on Twitter before.
No, right.
Like, sorry
Like-
you were born Dave Greeley. That was your fault.
No, like the person who's at
That's
Chelsea, and every time the football team loses, she gets all this hate on the internet, and her name just happens.
You'd think
to
these people would catch on and not be idiots and change their fucking handles.
Yeah, that's a really easy thing to do on Twitter now, as it
Yeah.
turns out. So, yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Moving the fuck on from user SolanaMax with 7 points. Quote, I'm not sure how, but Morgan already has a 15-point lead in the prediction standings. Hashtag math, end quote. John Zadar, your thoughts? Everyone
I
hates
mean,
that
that's
guy.
probably true. I can't wait to hear how many points you have later.
We are
when you talk
going-
about how you're not cheating this season.
I literally did predict all of the preseason results correctly. Yes.
Convenient.
All
yeah.
I'm saying is...
I must have missed those texts where you asked for my predictions.
You did miss them.
Yeah?
You did,
All right.
apparently, because you didn't respond. And it turns out I'm in first
I
place.
think
Darby.
we're going to get Matt Bernhardt to like put together a spreadsheet and actually track this stuff so that you can't cheat your ass off. this year.
already a spreadsheet.
We need a second one that you don't control.
One that we've never seen.
I don't accept that.
Solana Max, I know you're listening. This is your job this season. I feel like I could trust you.
I got some breaking news for you, John. The Blue Jackets are winning the fucking Stanley Cup. All right, Solanax told me that when he was drunk. Season 2.
And has said it repeatedly. He's like
Solana Max says that every year.
He does.
No offense, Matt. You do.
No, offense completely intended. You
Wait,
drink all
who?
my bourbon and you're
Who's
wrong
Matt?
about hockey predictions. Douchebag.
Fatality.
Moving on from user Peepa picked pickled peppers.
We never call him Matt. And so for a second there, you had me convinced that I was actually wrong.
You're like, oh, wait, is it Mike?
I was like, hold on, did I call him the wrong name?
You know, your friend Mike Salon.
Also, his last name's not Salon, as it turns out. Who knew?
That's definitely how you pronounce it. From Peepa picked pickled peppers with 5 points, quote, in honor of a brand new season, without a long list of usernames for Morgan to screw up, I thought the show would be missing a crucial element. In that spirit, please find this week's tongue twisters from the Massive. Morgan should attempt to say each of these phrases 5 times as quickly as possible without screwing them up. I'm not going to do that.
You should probably do that. That's literally your only job during
5
this segment.
times, though? I'm not fucking reading
3
them
times.
each.
No,
How about
I didn't
one
make up the
time?
rules.
3
Okay, this guy
times.
made up the rules.
This
No.
guy doesn't control the thing. He doesn't make up the goddamn rules.
I mean, you want to do the hashtag. You want to do the hot take segment. I think you have to do what the hot takes say.
Karen Crognell makes up the rules, okay? And she says I don't have to do that.
Well, she texted me just a few minutes ago, and she said that if Morgan tries to say that I said something, don't believe him.
Did she say that?
Yeah.
God damn it. All right, 3 times it is. All right. Thanks, Karen. For
I think it was
nothing.
5 times.
No, I think she said 3. I think that's what you said. Preening precourts precarious park pipe dream prevented. Preening precourts precarious park pipe dream prevented. Preening precourts precarious park pipe dream prevented. All right, that was great, Morgan. Thanks. Flying Frankie furiously fights fire. Flying Frankie furiously fights fire. Flying Frankie furiously fights fire. Peepa punched a pack of privileged precourts. Peepa punched a pack of privileged precourts. Peepa punched a pack of privileged precourts. Goat Guillermo's graceful goals get girls. Goat Guillermo's graceful goals get girls. Goat Guillermo. Oh, God
There it is.
Oh, man. That was so
The pressure just kept
I wanted
increasing. You're like, the end was in sight.
I wanted it so bad. I fucking hate Greg
Did pretty
Benson.
well.
Pam makes wonderful pizza and has a reasonable number of shoes.
Twice more, please. 2 more times.
Wait, these are not logical fallacies. They're tongue twisters.
Can I hear that again? Can I hear that 2 more times, please?
Pam makes wonderful pizza and has a reasonable number of shoes.
Wait, what does Pam do?
Pam makes wonderful pizza and has a reasonable number of shoes. Hashtag
okay.
Bill's Mafia. Hashtag words. End quote. Yvonne Siegel, your thoughts?
My favorite was the last one.
Wait, which
I
one
would
was
like
that?
to.
Actually, I really like the Peepa punched a preening precourt. A pack of preening precourts.
Son of a bitch.
Oh,
John,
there was
your
no
thoughts?
preening in there. That's
I
a
would
good
just
word.
like to
Yeah.
request that you GoPro anytime you're driving in the car with Pam, because I know you make her listen to this show.
I do.
So I want to be able to see what happens when she hears that.
That is the part where it always turns on to a part that like she's mentioned.
Yeah.
So it's all of segment 3. Moving on from user Darling Thief. What a good lad he is.
with 4 points. Quote, since we know Precourt enjoys interrupting momentous occasions, I'm starting to worry that he will next seek to ruin the upcoming Purdy Hughes nuptials. With my lad-like stealth, I have obtained a draft of a Precourt statement off of Dave Greeley's desk, which was next to his copy of Sports Business for Dummies, Volume 1.5, Back to the Basics, a.k.a. Actually Pay Attention in Business School This Time. Said statement may confirm my suspicions. I, Anthony Precourt, noted successful businessman, have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Pam. Marry me and you will have all of the free, bland, corporate scarves that you can cover the floor with as your heart desires. Furthermore, my market research, done by 3 fuckboys I found at a bar, says our union will have a $400 million economic benefit for the world, spread over roughly 1,996 years. While my advisors assure me I am not as massive as Doran or Morgan's acorn penis.
I'm glad that's back for this season.
Yeah. Oh, it's great, Yvonne. You have to respect my ambition. I look forward to negotiating with the Purdy family as to which parkland they will provide me as dowry. While I will not actually be doing the negotiating, feel free to contact my business partner, Top Lad, and noted TV star Dave Greeley. Business metrically yours. Snacky Tony Aces. Hashtag ACES is a snack. Hashtag save the crew. Hashtag parallel paths to Pam.
What was the last hashtag?
Parallel paths to Pam.
Darby Sharpers, your thoughts?
I'm happy that we finally found somebody with a smaller penis than you.
That I didn't.
It took
think
a lot of work. I mean,
I feel threatened.
John had to look at so many penises before we could finally. Find
I've seen
one
him
that was
doing
smaller
that.
than yours.
I've seen him doing that. Every Save the Crew meeting, you can attest this, Darby. John's just like searching the internet for pictures of penises, right. And he's like, "Oh, I'm looking for small ones." I'm like, "Okay, like, do whatever makes you feel good, man. Like, get it out of my face."
No judgment.
Back to you, John.
How are you supposed to see it if it's not in your face?
That's a good point. Moving on from user Spikehead Lyndon B. Yes! Yes! Fuck yeah. Here we go. Quote, moving the fuck on. Hey gang, it's your favorite bovine superstar Lyndon B. I've got some important info to deliver from deep in the heart of Texas. As the foremost expert on bullshit, let me tell you that we're swimming in it down here. My pal Dave Greeley is churning out doo-doo butter 24/7 like a soft-serve machine pumps out ice cream in the middle of summer. Dave isn't happy I'm posting here or that I exist, much like Sean Sitar. He's threatened to hand me over to Andrew Erickson on more than one occasion. He's for the roast beef sandwiches. Yeah, oh my God. He's glared at me and just starts counting. I think he's estimating how many roast beef sandwiches he'd be able to get from Gulp Me. Lyndon B., you're the best. So help your beefy brother steer this situation in another direction and save the crew from Dave Greeley and save me from Andrew Erickson and Sean Sitar. End quote. Sean Sitar, your thoughts?
I only listened to the second half of that.
Well, that was from Lyndon B.
Oh, I hate him.
The breakout star of 2018. What are you talking about?
I'm not a fan.
He's the breakout star of 2018.
I heard he's actually kind of like a crazy Scientologist, too.
No one has said that.
Maybe
what the fuck
all
is that?
All TV stars are Scientologists.
Yeah.
You
I
can't
don't know if I trust
outrageous.
him.
Yeah.
This could be a smear campaign just against Andrew Erickson because maybe he's working on a piece exposing the craziness of Scientology. They do that kind of stuff, you know.
Andrew Erickson is he's a beat writer and also like a Scientologist.
There's a Scientology office on High Street, just north of Broad Street. It's not that far from the Dispatch.
Is there really?
Yeah.
There's oh my God, you're right. There is one downtown, right?
It's literally like 3 doors up from the Dunkin' Donuts on the corner of Broad and High.
Who are they trying to get in Columbus? Like Archie Griffin and fucking Jack Hanna?
No, Scientology isn't only celebrities.
That's what I heard, John.
No.
I mean, it's celebrities and people with money.
Well, it's people without money, too.
So
because they take it all.
Yvonne Siegel, your thoughts on
They might be trying to get you. Maybe Lyndon B. is the way in. They hear you're a corporate shill. You probably got a lot of that Austin cash.
Lyndon B. is not a Scientologist. He's the savior of the franchise.
I think he is,
San Antonio.
I may have some visual proof of this on Twitter later. Who knows?
What are you talking? Have you ever even watched the Dave Greeley show, John? There were 10 episodes. He saves the crew.
Yeah. Through the power of Scientology. I don't want it saved that way.
Now that I'm thinking about it,
wait,
you might be right.
I thought Crewzers saved the crew. Wasn't that the message I was supposed to get in that?
I don't know. I didn't make it. I just know the producers. Yvonne Siegel, your thoughts?
I'm only up to episode 8.
That's awesome. Spoilers.
What if I told you could just skip to the end?
Yeah, they're like 1 minute
You
videos.
just skip the period.
I don't even know how
I've
many
been
I watched.
trying, but I've only made it to episode 8. It's like 8 entire minutes, Yvonne.
I know. I fell asleep watching 8 last night, so I didn't make it to 9 or 10.
How could you fall asleep to that?
Because I was
could
really
you not?
fucking tired.
Moving the fuck on. From user Morgan's
I'd be
Trumpet.
afraid if I fell asleep that they'd put some Scientology like hypnotic shit on me. Yeah.
Mr. Poopy
Oh, I thought maybe that
Poop
was
your
going to be
pants?
the yeah, no.
You're afraid they'll make you poop your pants. With
Right, yeah, that could be a
brain
thing that they
tricks?
do. Who knows?
All right, well, I wish you were friends with Lyndon B. You could probably stop him. Moving the fuck on. Morgan's Trumpet with 7 points has this to say, quote, toot, end quote. Yep, that's right. Top Hornman. Tell everyone you know. I've been Darby, here, let me tell you something. Darby. I've been playing trumpet since 4th grade. I took a minor break between 8th grade and a couple weeks ago. But I've always been that. How dare Morgan's Trumpet mock the top hornsman of the game? Your thoughts?
When I saw this tweet, I just imagined the scene in American Pie 2 where Jim gets up on the stage with his horn and has no idea what he's doing and is just like prancing around and making noise. That's pretty much how I envision you playing a brass instrument.
I've never seen any of the American Pie movies, but I have to assume that was a very funny joke.
It's a Star War. It's like the 8th Star War. So,
are there
Star
8
War 8 American
Star-
Pie?
Yes, that's
Great.
Star War 8 American Pie 2, the American Pie-ing.
John, your thoughts on Darby being a part of this?
Oh, the podcast?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah. I mean, being
I don't know. I'm still torn between which you I'd prefer to get rid of.
All right, that's fair. Moving on. From user ACES Stefan.
Figure I can't have both, so I've got to
John's
pick.
ready to do podcast for Columbus too. Just him in a basement talking about soccer.
It's going to be a really riveting 0 minutes every week of you having to listen to me.
I've told Todd before that he could borrow all of our equipment to do a podcast for Columbus, and he has not done it. Moving on. User ACES Stefan with 6 points has the following to say. I think this is like a Stefan character from SNL. All right.
I don't. What's that?
It's What's His Nuts?
This club has everything.
Carl McGillicuddy.
Yeah, where he's like, the name of the bar is
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader, yeah.
I'm not familiar with that.
Quote,
skit.
That's
looking to learn more about Morgan and his life, then look no further than Casa de Morgan. This place has everything. Piles of shoes, burnt pizzas, framed photos of Ron Tugnut, a written explanation of the term flog, raccoons eating cars, reruns of the Golden Girls, a former crew announcer who will destroy your fiance's uterus while you're away, microwave tinfoil.
Because you do that.
Microwave tinfoil, a guitar, letters addressed to Mr. Hughes. Fuck you. Roast beef sandwiches, vagina wash for men, Walt quizzing on VHS, and a human Roomba. What's a human Roomba, you ask? It's when Morgan sits on a board, mounted by 4-inch CC Apex ESD King pinless swivel casters, and wheels around after Pam while he picks up clothes and debris. So come on over to Morgan's place for an experience like no other. End quote. I mean, that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Yvonne, you know that character. Your thoughts?
Very well, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. I do wish you had,
Well, that's more of a video thing.
Yeah, but
You're thinking of a vlog.
I mean, if only there were
if
video
only there
of
were
this
video
segment.
of segment 3.
Well, I mean, you have to have like half video, half blog, and then it's vlog. Is that what you're asking?
No, I just there was no it was good.
She wants the blogless vlog.
That's video.
Yeah.
Oh, you want a video? Yeah.
Well, we have
no.
yeah.
Oh, we are live
Just
on the
have to
internet.
speak his
We are,
language.
yeah.
Moving on
That
from
was a
user
good one.
Bonesy10 with 3 points. Quote, Precourt looks like a fat beaker. And then there are 2 hyperlinks, which I will not be clicking on. Darby, I'm assuming that you have a hot take. Go ahead.
There are also like 5-line long URLs. Like it's
Bitly
literally
people.
paragraphs. Yeah, I think you need to work on your
Format
linking
your
skills.
shit, man.
Yeah, go into
Bonesy10, I've seen your shit enough to know that you've been on Reddit for a minute.
right. There's literally a way in Reddit you can share a link and then associate text with it,
Yes.
so it's not a 5
Brackets.
hyperlink. Yeah.
And parentheses.
Yep.
Moving on from user Grandpa Crognail with 4 points. Quote, hello, how do these contraptions work? Someone help. I've been held against my will in this basement and forced to make cookies for months. End quote. John Zadar, your thoughts?
When do I get the cookies?
I don't know. They were actually pretty good.
That's all I'm really concerned about.
Lovely. Just guessing Grandpa Crognell's not getting any blood points tonight. Moving on from user Massive14 with 4 points. Quote, PSV's approach to this whole Austin thing makes less sense than the verses in an AGS Attack rap song. Precourt is like a married man openly trying to cheat on his wife and issuing press releases talking about all the other women who are interested in him. You should see this blonde in Austin who wants me. She's so hot, you guys. Like a younger version of Josephine's mom. One of these days, I'm going to get with her and ditch that old hag Columbus and pay her $400 million. Wait, what's prostitution? I'm sorry. Where I come from, we call those business metrics. Respect my ambition, end quote. Yep. Salon Max. You're not getting blood points, but you got to give it up to Massive 14. Darby Schnarvis, your thoughts?
I don't know. It's a little Hataki.
He approaches the baby gangsta.
Yeah, I mean, he's cheating on his current city with his would-be new city.
Yeah, but I mean, the Josephine's mom roast was real.
I appreciate him being compared to a John.
Joseph even listen to the show anymore?
Yeah, he does.
Did he ever listen to the show? Does anyone listen to the show?
I don't know.
Josephine's mom is a slut.
Oh, is that what the joke is?
Yeah.
Oh, that changes everything.
It's a sex thing, Darby.
Okay.
I know you've never had it.
Inch deep, mile wide.
You know, I've heard from a lot of women that 1 inch is just not enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, can we expand that a little bit?
It's like throwing one of those.
I was not expecting
it's
that.
It's like throwing one of those little mini wieners down a hallway.
Right.
It's like playing pool with a rope, John. I think that's how they say it.
Women have needs, and 1 inch just doesn't get it done. I know, okay?
How many times have I heard that? Moving on from user Ghost of Stern John with 2 points. Quote, what's more likely, Precourt or Greeley attending the season or home openers, or Andres Mendoza coming out of retirement? We do need another forward. Oh, and fuck Precourt. End quote. Darby Schnarvis, your thoughts?
I don't think Andres Mendoza, it's not ringing a bell. Can you tell me who that is?
He's pregnant with goals.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
That's true, Yvonne. He did do that. You put a ball in his shirt. Yeah. You remember things. Yeah. Oh, shit. Is that one of the proofs? Mm-hmm. Nice. We're looking live at one of the proofs for the Save the Crew jersey.
Nice.
And now you can't see it, Periscope.
It looks way fucking better than I thought it was going to look, and I thought it was going to look like the greatest thing ever. Moving on from user Zappalicious with 2 points, quote, it begins. Hashtag shave the crew, end quote.
Smoke weed every day.
John Zadar, your thought on the For Community kit.
What?
Your thoughts on the Save the Crew jersey?
What, in response to something?
No.
Oh.
No, just, do you like that?
It'll be ready soon.
Is that right?
Yep.
What does it look like, John?
A jersey.
Describe it for me.
It's got a like a kind of a rectangular center.
Okay.
And then like two parts that come off near the top.
Oh,
with
for your
holes.
arms?
Yeah, that's where your arms should go.
That's so convenient.
And then
for your arms.
Wait, get this.
Okay.
There's another hole in the middle.
For your head.
For your head.
That's so convenient for your head.
There's a hole at the bottom of the big rectangle, too?
No.
It's going to be... Oh.
We did not think about that.
Oh.
For your body?
Yeah,
No.
so it's like a little jumpsuit then. You just
Shit.
curl up and
Yeah.
See, originally we designed
it's
a
more
bag.
like it's like a sleeping bag with arms.
With arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'll keep you warm in those March games, right?
And it'll also give you a place to
I
put
mean, I
all
don't
of
know
your
if
stuff.
It's
Yeah, it's a pocket.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to set the record straight because our graphic artists on staff at Tifo or Save the Crew, I don't know who does Tifo Sweat.
Yeah.
They're talentless ass clowns.
I've
And
heard.
People have, I've heard that too.
The word on the street.
We are friends. They're like, oh, is this jersey black? All I see is blackness. John, can you speak to that? Is it a black jersey, John?
Yep, there's black on the jersey.
No, John, is it a completely black jersey?
No one would ever produce something like that. That doesn't make any sense.
That would show an utter lack of imagination
there's zero,
and ambition.
There is zero chance that anyone would produce a completely all black jersey. So no, there's not. It's not.
John, the Crew did
There
that
are
this
other
year.
colors on it. No,
The Crew
the
did
Crew's jersey's in all black. It's got yellow on it.
I mean,
It's
should
got a
we
yellow
tell
Adidas
people?
logo. It's got a yellow logo, Crew logo. It's
Has
got
the
yellow
Crew logo on it?
numbers and name on it.
I think I'll break the news
It's not
right
all
now,
black.
John. You ready? Our main jersey sponsor is the Crew. Columbus Crew is our
Oh,
sponsor.
I thought you were going to say it was like the old...
That's one of the things we've actually
Wizard
announced,
jersey
though,
that's
more.
black but has a rainbow on it.
Yeah, no. We talked about it, but we didn't think we could go for it. Moving on from user Hired Ballerina with 1 point, quote, ACES Radio on a Wednesday. Fuck Precourt. Butler Shores.
I'm outstanding. I'm intolerable. Everybody go listen to
forgot
ACES
about
Radio
that.
instead. It's going to be awesome.
Johnson, are your thoughts?
I mean, everything Alex said is true.
Jesus. Talk about a heel turn. Last hot take of the night comes to us from none other than AGS Attack with 1 point, quote, "Forgive me, user / yeah, Morgan, for I have sinned. Slightly over 1 year ago today, February 25th, 2017, I tweeted that Anthony Precourt was the best owner of all time. That is the worst take of all time, and I deserve the death by 1,000 Precourts. Furthermore, I booked a vacation for Christmas. Luckily, we'll save the crew, so that won't be me missing the last one. And finally, I wrote 2 more chant/songs that will be released soon. They are worse than you can possibly imagine, but you'll be doing the Jeff Cunningham to them soon enough." End quote. Yvonne Seagull, your thoughts?
I look forward to AGS Attack, whatever song, rap things. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Do you like the sound of bees?
What? Well, yeah, you know.
How many Pedro songs do you think we can get through? There's 1. There's 2. There's 3.
He approaches
Everybody
the
yelled
baby gangster.
Sanj last night when they introduced him.
Of course they did. That's his literal fucking name.
Absolutely.
Moving on, we have blood points to give away. Hot takes are over for the time being. Darby Schnarfus, we start with you. The 40-year-old man-child, everyone's favorite ancient ruin. Your first blood points of the year go to the following users.
Wait, how many are we doing?
2. Why not 2?
2.
Everyone
Okay.
gets 2.
Let's see. ACES Stefan, even though I totally didn't get what the thing was until you pointed it out to me, so thank you.
All right.
God, I just had to thank Morgan for something.
You're welcome.
That's it. I'm leaving. I'm out.
You're welcome. Hashtag Darbs.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. There's some preseason form in some of this stuff.
Hired Ballerina is like the only veteran that showed up.
Yeah.
Even though one of them was very clearly setting the fucking Mass Stellar.
Yeah. Top of the table, moving the fuck on for the Eminem song.
Yep, that was good. Yvonne Seagull.
Yeah, ACES Stefan for sure. And who did the tongue twisters?
That was Peepa picked pickled peppers.
Yeah.
Which is not a thing I'd like to say every week for almost a year.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're not, and you shouldn't be.
You could just maybe, if I'm the only person that gives him a blood point, you can just stay in the gaggle fuck, and you don't have to list all of the names in the gaggle.
Can't believe you've done this.
I'm
John
sorry.
Zadar, your 2 blood points go to the following users.
How many did you give?
Everybody gets 2.
Oh, whatever Darby gave his 2, we can have 1 of each of mine because I don't know who the fuck anybody was.
That makes sense.
Sure.
Also,
people were upvoting AGS Attack.
Yeah,
today,
you
and
called
I
them
had
out.
to,
I
I
saw
had to
that.
call them out. So get your shit together, people. This is not how things work.
Who did you give our points to?
So the ACES Stefan and moving the fuck on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give 1 blood point to moving the fuck on because
What did that person do? Because apparently it was funny.
It was the rap artist.
It was
hot
the
take.
Eminem.
The Eminem one?
Eminem's.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I like they talked about
Reese's
Greg
Pieces.
being dead.
That was a good one.
The first Greg-free episode since episode 3 has been wonderful. I mean, I love this. This is great.
There's been a lot less time spent listening to fucking Australian music, the national anthem. So
That's
that's
true,
nice.
John. That's very true.
There are
Everybody.
fewer buttons for Morgan to press incorrectly.
That is true. This is it.
There it is, John.
I didn't miss it.
Yeah, I almost deleted these buttons, but I was like, nah.
Maybe keep them around for 1 or 2 episodes.
Anybody who's just like a piece of shit on this show, like, we'll just play this. So,
wait, you're giving yourself intro music?
How about new?
my second blood point, Darby, goes to user
that roast was savage.
Spikehead Linden B. It was. Oh, shit. And that is it for Hot Takes. This week, my friends, another edition for the Battle for the Grand Prize is in the books.
And you already know, so let your head nod throughout the outro. Now as the curtains close and it's time to go, will the beast almost out like a manifesto? So let's make a toast to all the friends and
Very long outro, John.
involved since we started the jam, and to a world full of people who telling you what you can and can't do. Better recognize salty eyes ain't a thing, cause we realize that when we doing what we love, that's the grand prize.
Oh yeah, baby, no you can't, Walter. Jesus Christ, Glenn Tennis. Take it easy. We move on to season predictions. This is the first episode of season 3.
Crewzers FC starting the regular season of the 2018 MLS Cup battle for the grand prize, which is what they're calling it this year, #Unite and Conquer. So we have to make our official predictions. We are going to do the following. We are going to predict whether or not Crewzers FC makes the playoffs. We're going to give our surprise team in MLS for 2018. We're going to give our team of failure for 2018. We're going to predict the East champs, the West champs, and tell you who's going to win MLS Cup. Darby Schnarfus, Crewzers FC, making the playoffs, yes or no? We start with you, my friend.
See, the asshole in me wants to draw a Browns comparison and say the team that
Yeah, I noticed
just
you're wearing
rocks,
a brown shirt, by the way. What the fuck is that about?
I think technically these colors are like Bowling Green since it's Land Grant, and they do Land Grant University colors.
Yeah, makes sense.
No.
Yeah.
It's orange and brown.
I would assume we would probably go 0-16 in the regular season. But
Perfect
I can't do
season.
it. No, we're absolutely making the playoffs. I think there's no question.
All right. Yvonne Siegel, you've been dragged into this, much like the entire city
Yay.
of Columbus. Crewzers FC making the playoffs, yes
Absolutely.
or no? All right. 2 for 2. Sean Sitar.
Yeah.
Yes, they are?
Yep.
No, okay. You're not like, yes, that's my name?
I mean, yes, it's both.
Great to have you back. I say yes, Crewzers FC make the playoffs. The East is tough, man. It was tough last year.
What was that? East is tough.
The East is tough. I mean, Atlanta's going to be good again. NYCFC got better. Orlando, while they were the shithole of the East, they got better. It looks like Chicago got better. So, I mean, those are probably your playoff teams, and maybe we're in
Really?
there.
I don't think Chicago got better.
Like there might be one other team that
They got Tony Johnny today.
you can mention in that list.
Columbus Crew SC.
What?
Well, yeah, I mean, like Toronto, like they're still pretty freaking good. Like,
Are they in the East?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, they didn't change anything.
Yes, good point. Obviously, Toronto is class of MLS until someone dethrones them, but it's going to be the toughest year possibly ever to make the playoffs out of the East.
It's MLS. Literally anything could happen.
Yeah,
Just like it always does.
And it was tough last year.
Yeah.
So,
So I say yes. 5 seed sounds about right. So
I mean,
we'll probably
history
win
would
the
show
Supporters'
that
Shield.
Greg Berhalter makes the playoffs more often than not.
Yeah, it's not Portland. We didn't make the playoffs. We
So,
made the playoffs
one-
last year. So.
One season, though, we didn't make them under his tenure, right? Just 2016.
Yep.
So
just the For Columbus year.
History would suggest that we're likely to make them.
Yeah. Talk up the For Columbus thing, Sean Kelly. As it turns out, it was the worst mistake in franchise history.
But a really good jersey.
And I include Tifo Sweat in that.
But, I mean, you have to respect the ambition.
I do. Moving on. Surprise team of the year. In all of MLS, pick any team. It could be a team that exists, and it should be a team that exists. Darby Schnarfus, your surprise team of the year.
This is going to be an underwhelming surprise, but Minnesota United will be in the running for playoffs. Like, at the bottom of the playoff heap, but I think they'll be there. Everybody seems to think that they went nowhere and maybe even a little backwards. I think they'll start getting their stuff together.
Yeah, I mean, they had a really terrible beginning of last year and then became average towards the end. So, if they stay average the whole year this year, they will be in contention for the playoffs. Levon Seagal.
DC United, I think, after the last 15,000 years of, Ben being at the helm and nothing ever changed, this is not going to be any different for them. They are going to suck. I don't know.
That was not the
who
question.
The breakout team is going to be.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
I mean, that's technically a surprise team. If they're
that would be a
surprisingly
shocker.
shitty.
But she didn't say that they
This
were
is
doing
why
that.
Yvonne has never been
She
invited
said
on
that
this
she
show.
laid it out like she was going
don't
to,
know why
and
you
then she
asked me
didn't
these kinds of
twist. She didn't
questions.
twist. There was no twist.
I just come.
It was just their
bring
shit.
you funny
They've
things.
been terrible
Yeah.
forever, and you know
But
what?
they have a new
I think that
stadium.
this year
They're still
finally
gonna be
gonna
terrible.
still be shit. That's what she did.
Listen, what we've been told is that having a new stadium makes you instantly an amazing
But they're not
team,
even gonna have
right?
that thing for like most of the year.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe
But then
next
they've got a new stadium every week. It's like this week it's the Navy Stadium. And
Some
this
good
week
that new
it's-
stadium Atlanta did for Atlanta, didn't it?
I will not believe that
In
Buzzard
where?
Point is a real thing until like our first game there.
I don't understand.
Oh,
how
Adam
he's
John's
still
only
coaching.
moment in the sun.
Yeah.
John Zadar, your surprise team in the league this year.
The answer here is very easy, you simpletons. It's Orlando City, okay? It's Orlando City.
Oh yeah, the team
You know-
willing to splash millions of dollars is going to do well. What a shocker!
Yes.
Yeah, they signed fucking everybody.
Right.
Yeah. They did that video today where they were like, it was like the back of every player
the back of their jersey for every new player in Orlando, and it's like a 7
It's an entire roster worth of people. Yeah.
Yes, it was almost every fucking number that exists, 1 through 99.
I mean, they've perennially been, garbage.
Yeah.
So I think that's
they're trash.
I mean, it's not a surprise.
I hope they win the East and then lose in the first round. Fuck them. That's why,
Also,
John.
I would say their stadium, incidentally, is in a really not great part of town. Having now
what's that part of town? Orlando?
All
of Orlando.
Yes, all of Orlando.
I'm sorry, we refer to that as the state of Florida.
Right. Yeah. I realize the reason they march to the stadium is because you have to go a mile to find
I'm not sure
a
if-
place to have a beer
If
or
getting
a restaurant.
running from people that are high on bath salts and trying to eat your face counts as a march, but sure.
It does technically. Come on down to Florida.
Everybody in the gates, or you will literally die and be eaten.
It's like the purge once a week.
Welcome to Florida. Every city is an area behind a dumpster at Rax. My surprise team this year is going to be San Jose. I think that, they haven't made the playoffs since the fucking, Goonies or whatever they called them that year where they had Lenhart. No, they made the playoffs. They just haven't been good. And a lot of fucking MLS pundits are talking about San Jose being good. I'm nothing if a great imitator of others.
San Jose made the playoffs last year. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I respect any team that will start a 40-year-old at forward.
Yeah.
So, I can dig it.
Yeah, he's going to
hear that, Columbus Crew? If you want Darby's respect, start him.
That's right.
Boom roasted. That's the drop I meant.
I figure I can get 6 goals in this system. I will just sit my fat ass.
Oh, yeah. You just put his hover around right at the penalty mark.
6-yard box. And
Give
I'll
him all the juice he wants, and then just kind of tilt his head.
Zardes is going to score 3 goals with his ass, so I figure I can put a couple off my walker.
Weekend
a couple
Darbies is what that movie is called.
I want to watch that.
Yeah, that'd
with
be great.
Pippa and Sanch.
Throw him at the goal.
They're literally pulling the strings on the offense there.
Oh, shit. Okay, Yvonne's question that she just answered, we will now all, the rest of us, answer. Team of failure. Darby, we start with you.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, I had a different team of failure.
That's fine. We assumed.
I think LAFC. I don't think they're going to recapture the lightning in the bottle that Atlanta got. It's going to be easy and sexy to be like, look at them splashing money. But I think they're going to struggle a lot more than Atlanta did.
You're absolutely right. Yvonne Siegel.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Sorry.
There's only one of them. John Zadar, you're a team of failure.
Oh, man. That's easy, and I agree. And so I'm going to pick New York City instead. I don't think they will make the playoffs this year.
Wow.
That's a bold statement.
Are you anticipating a David Villa stroke or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that David Villa is old.
Yeah.
And
we
his
all know.
days of carrying them are
40-year-old
coming to a
forward.
very abrupt close.
And they
I
sold
believe.
Jack Harrison, so it's
yes,
not like
they sold their other good player.
They didn't get. Yeah. Anyway, my team of failure is. I don't want to repeat it, but it is LAFC. It will be LAFC. I think they will catch lightning in a bottle, and that lightning in a bottle is that of Minnesota's from last year. I think they're going to be overhyped, and they're going to suck. Their back line is like a "what the fuck are you trying to do" type of situation.
They're a laugh, see?
I know they just laid their grass down. So is their stadium ready for the start of the season, or no? I'm legitimately asking. Okay, you don't know.
No.
Okay.
I have no idea. I just press the button.
I would assume that it will be either for the kickoff or very soon after.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
They're going to have a home stadium in Carson anyway, so.
Boom. Roasted.
Loved it. Loved that, Darby.
All right,
That was
hey.
great. Don't make that sound, John. That was disgusting. Don't do that. I think their top-level talent is as good as anyone in the leagues, but that's only like 2.5 guys.
They don't even have a full roster.
Yeah,
Right.
they basically
Literally less than a week. 3 days from kickoff of the season, and
Yes.
they've
They've got like 20 players or something.
Yeah, they're missing. They have empty roster spots.
That's exactly the struggle that Minnesota went through last year. So good luck, LAFC. I hope the lads get up. But I'm happy for the Chivas fans in reality.
To be fair, we fielded like 15-player rosters some days,
Boom.
so it can happen.
I don't know. How
right, but
Precourt comes
not
back
for
from
the
that.
whole season, not back-to-back games.
All right, around the table, Latin Term podcast host, I want you to tell me who's going to win the East and who's going to win the West. What will MLS Cup final look like in 2018? Darby, back to you.
Oh, man. Let's see. I don't know. As tough as the East is going to be, I think that also translates to anybody's game. I'm not sold that Toronto will repeat as tops. All right, I hate to say it. We'll say Bridgeview just for the hell of it. Why not?
What? the fuck?
Yeah, no.
Never mind.
Smoke
Don't-
weed every day.
Moving on.
It's a hot take. I don't know. I
really
haven't
helps
thought
with
this-
your glaucoma, doesn't it?
I need to look at these questions in advance because I was not prepared for
It's almost like
You
you post them on the
roasted
Slack
my
or something.
ass yesterday for not looking at the Save the Crew Slack or the ACES Radio Slack channel, or both of them, frankly.
I did because you ignored it for a week and then popped on at the last minute this morning to do
Yes,
your
alerts are
half-assed
turned off on
homework
my
shit.
phone unilaterally. Who did you say in the West? Who's going to win the West?
In the West,
This is the crapshoot. Fucking
I don't
anybody.
know. Yeah, because like Seattle without, I mean, I'm still going to say Seattle. Even without Jordan Morris, they'll find a piece to plug in.
The 87-year-old roster that they have, like,
Yeah, but they still make it work.
you want to
They-
talk about Ricardo?
Do they though?
Montalban.
Do they make it work, or do they just get by?
Like they, well, that's
But
the
you
thing.
know,
you can get by.
You remember where they finished? They were tied up there for first, but they would have been last in our conference.
Well, it'll probably still be the same way.
I know,
don't
but
think-
they weren't like far and away. They were. I've got it in front of me. They were tied with Timbers for 53 points. They finished second. They were 1 point above Vancouver. They were 3 points above Dynamo. They didn't. They were 4 points above Kansas. They didn't like.
I just picked Bridgeview for the East. Do you
No,
think
I
I
know.
know what the
That's-
fuck I'm
that's-
talking
that's-
about?
that's fair point.
No, we never did,
Like
Darby.
I'm just throwing names out at this point. I'm like,
All right, so-
wait, Miami Fusion, I think.
Darby
is-
predicts all the old people teams will make the final. Shocking. Yvonne Siegel.
The golden generation
Yeah.
represented.
I mean, I think it's obvious we're going to win the East.
Oh,
right?
Cruisers FC?
Cruisers FC, absolutely.
Respect that.
And,
Ambition.
in the West, I don't know. I mean, I think it would be fun if somehow Real Salt Lake managed to kick it up, just because it would be a fun game to hear Dunny call.
Fuck them.
It would be fun if Portland won the West, because that was a really fun tailgating experience. I don't remember what happened after the tailgate.
I don't
Nothing.
But the tailgating was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
Shout out to Hootie Smurf.
San Jose might be fun for the heck of it. I don't know. I don't really care who wins the West. We're
Yvonne
gonna
is
win
the
East.
best part of this segment.
She's great.
She doesn't commit to anything. She's great.
I don't really
So-
care about the West. We play in the East. So,
So
there you
6
go.
teams will win the West.
Yeah.
in
Good,
Yvonne's
I
world.
said.
That's going to be a tough MLS Cup matchup for whoever wins the East.
Right, yeah. It's going to be like Steve Clark playing a 3-team soccer field.
Right.
Yeah.
We have to go up against 66 people. Jesus, I know the West is bad, but that seems like overcompensating. John Zadar, East-West, who you got, bro?
I got Toronto and Kansas. I think Toronto's.
Why do you keep
Oh,
calling
that's right.
them Kansas?
Kansas, of course.
Why do you keep calling them Kansas?
Kansas.
What else do you call them?
I mean, that is the state in which they play.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you
what?
Did I ever tell you guys that like the cab that picked us up when we were in Sporkland for that away game took us?
Are you asking me about the cab that I rode in with
Okay,
you? Did I ever tell you about that thing that
Tell
you
the
lived?
story. Yeah, you went to the actual hospital,
Yes,
blah, blah, blah.
I have told that. Okay, I was thinking about that yesterday.
Don't Morgan-splain the cab ride to John.
Sorry, it's a funny story.
It is a funny story.
Yeah, the guy took us to a hospital. We had like
The children's
7
hospital
cases
with
of beer.
that he helped us load into
Yeah,
his car.
and flags, and we were wearing soccer
what are we
jerseys.
going to do here, kid? With the
You were trying to end childhood sobriety, clearly.
Well, in retrospect, it was even more hysterical because, like, we got in there with all that shit, and we're like, we're going to Child's Mercy Park or whatever, and he's like, that sounds normal, and he drove us to a hospital.
yeah.
Who you got in the West? Oh, you said
Kansas
Sporting?
for real,
No,
yeah.
Okay, Sporting.
Yeah, they had a good run last year, and then I think they fell off and underachieved. So
They sure did.
with things being as tight as they are, they signed some important pieces just a couple days ago again.
Who's
so I
going to
think
score their goals? Or they?
Iko Parr is going to score all the goals.
Oh, well, okay, that's fair. From his hospital bed when he's injured 3 games in.
I'm sorry, the right answer was Bobo. I want to say that Toronto's going to run boner wild over the East, but this is the year of Save the Crew. So I will predict Columbus Crewzers FC to win the Eastern Conference because fuck off. Are you people serious? Jesus
Right?
Christ, we're winning the goddamn thing.
Sorry,
Jesus.
I was trying to talk soccer. And
That's right.
Homer is.
This is not a soccer podcast, Darby.
my
How
bad.
dare you?
This is the Buffalo Bills podcast. Darby.
Goddamn right, number 17. I mean, the West is a crapshoot. Who are you going to pick? Like Seattle. Seattle sounds right, but they're so fucking old. Like how many ACLs?
But
has
they got a young
roster blown
center
out?
back from Korea, so they can.
Koreans, they're
pop
known for
out.
their height.
That's right.
The guy's
And their
6'2".
midfield
I did look
bossness.
it up. But I mean, yeah, when Torres or Marshall inevitably breaks a hip, they've got somebody back there, so
Yeah, I mean, and Jordan Morris is done for the year,
which
and
only makes them better.
Ozzy Alonso is a pile of human shit, and Chad's old and God damn, like, what the fuck? Anyway, I don't know.
Sporting signed Brad Davis. Or Brad Evans.
They're the same guy.
What are with all these, like, really exciting 2009 offseason transactions? Like us getting Ricardo Montalban / Clark.
Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah. I mean, come on. And I don't know, fucking shot in the dark Portland, you know? Portland out of the West, whatever. That sounds right. Although it could be LAFC.
I mean, that's what it was last year. It makes sense. It's as reasonable as anybody else.
Okay, it wasn't.
That's who won the West last year.
I'm talking about going to MLS Cup. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess we weren't really
We were talking about U.S. champs.
I thought we were talking regular
You didn't say,
season.
You said,
like champs. Like we won the East. We
I considered the end of the season to be the winning of the season.
What you fucking soccer people are so
No, we have
stupid.
to start over because I was totally picking regular season.
That's what I was doing.
All right,
too.
quickly. Who wins the East and the West in actual real life?
In the East, it's the Crew. In the West, it's Portland.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, way to go out on a limb, Darby, and copy my exact answer. Fantastic.
I said it first. What?
Yvonne, you're not changing yours?
She didn't. She gave like 18.
Yeah.
I picked a team
ultimately
in the East.
said
I really-
Columbus and Portland.
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
John
That'd be
Stark.
fun.
My answers don't change.
Okay, fantastic.
Dick. Because if there's one thing MLS Cup is known for, it's a number 1 seed against a number 1 seed.
My heart wants the Crew to win, but my brain just has that.
I don't believe that. Darby Schneider.
Anything is possible.
Who wins MLS Cup in your Portland-Columbus matchup?
Columbus Crew win.
Yeah, Slaughter Max. Blue Jackets suck dick. Literally one regulation playoff victory.
Did you forget that I was having him keep track of your cheating this year? You missed the button.
Nothing happened. Von Siegel, who wins MLS Cup?
I mean, is there any other answer? Of course it's us.
Yeah, Solana Max. Ron Tugnut for president. He was the reason that George W. Bush won.
Is Ron Tugnut the guy that makes all the taxidermied animals?
You're thinking of Chris Jet?
He was the star of the Anchorman movie.
Oh, Ron Tugnut.
Yeah.
Sean Sitar, who wins MLS Cup?
Toronto FC.
Everyone hates you.
That's fine.
All right. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to switch it up this year. I'm going to predict the champion of Major League Soccer to be Columbus Crewzers FC. Because, what are you, a fucking communist, John?
Right.
And second place, Save the Crew. That's right.
No.
We defeat ourselves. But we also win.
You're saying the team defeats Save the Crew?
That's right.
You
Save the
didn't
Crew.
think
That's a
this-
jersey now.
So the Columbus Crew defeats Save the Crew, thus becoming the Austin Crew? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's...
That's what he made it just sound like.
He totally did.
That's not what I said.
He predicted that Save the Crew would fail, and then we would lose.
Jeez.
No one said that. Get your 5x8 bags on SaveTheCrew.com.
Morgan is green and black, okay?
Morgan is not green and black. That's fake news.
Yeah. Basically, at this point, his closet is all Pam's shoes and MLS to ATX scarves.
Morgan is black and gold. It's the colors of Hastings Middle School. That's right. Shout out to Andy Zartman. Hashtag murder party. He's from the Golden Ghetto. He went to Wintermill Elementary School. Moving the fuck on. Crewzers FC at Toronto FC. The season kicks off as we close in on 3 hours on a podcast. Jesus. We go now live to Alex Thomas with the weather report in 3, 2, 1.
And now, an ACES radio exclusive.
We want it now!
The Weather Report with Uncle Sportsman himself,
If I wasn't Jamaican,
Alex Thomas.
then why would I wear this hat? It's gonna rain!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls alike, welcome back. It is the first time this season that we welcome into the show legendary, non-Jamaican Alex Thomas. Alex Thomas. Oh, I'm sorry. You're going to be on. I mean, you have been already on segment 1.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, you filled past tense.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yes, welcome back.
I filled the seat like Darby fills his Depends.
Yes. Yeah. Well.
Thanks for having me back.
Well, Alex, it's a rare treat to have you as always. We want to know about the weather this weekend in Toronto. What can you tell us, pal?
Yeah. The lads are going to be traveling north of the border.
All right.
Up to Toronto.
Yeah.
How long are they going to have to spend at the border?
A little less time than I did when I went up there.
That's a HangOnTour reference.
They shook the door cards when we went up there.
Is that right?
Yeah, they thought we were smuggling drugs in the. They made us all get out and they had us roll the windows down. They were shaking the car doors.
Well, we were smuggling drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got away with it?
No.
No, they did not.
No.
You didn't hear about this?
Listen to episode 72, basically all of segment 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, what we got in store for the weather this weekend?
1 o'clock kick. It's going to be a little chilly. 37 degrees, but sunny and super windy. Winds out of the west-northwest at 16 miles an hour.
Wow. How come you say west? Like the northwest
Okay, so what
is
you do
just
is-
like you could say it's out of the northwest, and that's enough.
There's north, there's west, then there's northwest, then there's northwest,
Right,
then
and
there's
then
west,
there's
northwest.
Oh, get the fuck out of here!
It's like
It's science, Morgan.
yeah, it's like there's inches, half inches, then there's quarter inches, and eighth inches,
and then there's doors.
It's not like that at all, John, because they're two completely
and
different
then
things.
and then you have to measure also like how wide they are.
No, you don't.
If they're only an
Nope.
inch deep, how wide did that?
don't.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, I see. This is a Dave Greeley roast. Approved. Approved. I won't edit that out at all. Alex Thomas, the weather. Back to you.
Yeah, man. That's it.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of cold.
So just a chilly and windy. That's it.
Chilly, windy, and sunny. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Last
Sounds
question
like a good
for
day
you.
for soccer.
Yeah.
Last question for you. If it's warm here right now, how is it going to be cold somewhere near here later?
Well, cold front's coming through tomorrow. Tomorrow's the She Believes Cup. It's supposed to rain.
It's supposed to rain like all day.
All day,
Yeah.
and be around 60 degrees, and then somewhere around 2 or 3 o'clock, a cold front moves in, and the temperature drops to the floor.
Pretty
The
excited.
rain's over, but
pretty excited to sit through the rain.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to rain during the game, too?
No.
Oh, really?
It's a 20% chance right now.
Where are the winds
Oh,
out
I
of?
saw it was like
It's going to be windy.
I saw it's 100% all day, but maybe that was still older info.
100% all day like Chaz.
Yeah, you're thinking of me being top lad in the game, John.
No,
100% all day.
No, I did check those stats.
That's right. No, you clearly didn't, because you would have heard about me. People are talking.
Right.
Anything else, Alex?
No, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Thomas. Yikes, that's loud. Levels are all over the place tonight, Yvonne. Moving on, thank you to Alex Thomas with the weather report. That was not terrible or extraordinarily long at all. That's what Pam said about Doran. I said what you're all thinking. Darby Schnarfus, 40-year-old man-child, everyone's favorite ancient ruin. I want to get your thoughts on the match, my friend. Remember, this is not the score prediction.
Not the score predictions.
That's not what we're doing.
I mean, it's first game of the season. Every team's going to be a little rusty. The one thing Toronto has going for them is they basically haven't changed their roster at all.
Yep.
Whereas we said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's blow like half the team up and bring in new people. So I think it's going to take a little time for us to gel. We had an amazing preseason, and that's a good sign. But I do think it's probably going to be a little sloppy. I don't think it will be a low-scoring endeavor.
All right. Way to plug the sponsor there, Endeavor. I like that a lot. Vaughn Siegel, your thoughts on the match, my friend?
Yeah, I think we had a great preseason. I'm not really sure how Toronto's went because I don't care about them and I didn't pay attention. Yeah, I mean, I think they may come out just totally overconfident based on how they ended their season last year. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think we're going to fight and... No, I'm not even going to...
Jesus, you almost did the thing. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's... it'll be a good game.
I mean,
But windy. I mean, it's...
The west-northwest winds is what you're concerned about? Oh, man, yeah, no. That's concerned. It's concerning me. John Zidar, the wet boy, the butt licker. Your thoughts on the match, my friend?
I'm optimistic. I mean, TFC, defending champions, a lot has changed, like Darby said, to their roster, so they still have to be, I think, favorites for stuff. And they've still got all that chemistry from existing from before, where we've had to build a little bit of it, but preseason suggests that that's gone well, so... I'm feeling like it's going to maybe be a pretty even match game, but I agree with him that it's probably going to be a bit high scoring. So,
all right, it's weird to say that this feels like a matchup of continuity within the two rosters because we lost Miram and we lost Ola Kamara, but again, like we talked about earlier in the program, the system is really. Unless you're starting fucking, Adam John or Kevin Burns up there, the system is the true number 9. So there is continuity on both sides of this of the field. So that's what it looks like to me. I think this is going to be a really good game. I mean, I'm going to quote Nate Beckman: "Home team FC is the strongest fucking team in the league. They always have been." But yeah, matchup of last year's Eastern Conference Finals and. I hope that the rough lads in Toronto don't fire fireworks at anyone that's traveling to BMO Place or whatever the hell it's called. Now that we have those out of the way, let's do our first predictions of the year. We start with you, Darby Schnarfs. What the hell is going on with Yvonne over there?
That lens fell out, and I'm trying to put it back camera down on the ear, which is awesome.
Do you wear contacts, Darby?
I do.
Have you how do they fall out of your fucking head? This happens to people all the time. I'm like, what are you doing? Like pounding the back of your head while you're looking at the ground?
Literally never happens.
If your eyes are dry, so like when Yvonne was back behind Endeavor smoking weed, her eyes got all dried out. Sometimes you just blink and they're just boop. So that's what happened.
She's leaving. Well, you just poked yourself in the fucking eye socket. I think that would hurt. Jarvis Snarvis, your score predictions for the game, my friend.
So nobody on Periscope can see this. Not that anybody's watching anyway. I am predicting a 2-2 tie.
All right.
Going to have a little scoring. Also, hashtag save the crew.
All right.
Hashtag meatballs for everyone.
Oh, I like that.
Hashtag Morgan is a tool.
I don't like that last one. I like the dump to berry roast, though. That was great. John Zadar, are you done drawing on that yet, my friend?
I'm having fun over here.
All right. What's your score prediction for the match?
I think, like I said, it's going to be high scoring, but I think it's probably going to be a draw. I think that the crew is going to go out and do the thing that you're supposed to do in MLS, which is play for the draw on the road. And I think Toronto will want to start their season off on a positive note. So I think that they'll probably play a little bit conservative as well, just so that they don't risk the loss against what is known now as a high attacking team in Columbus. So I'm predicting 2-2, and I had fun.
All right. So okay. So it says match day. Show the people on Periscope.
Yeah, you should walk over to the.
Okay.
Sometimes I forget you're an artist.
Yeah.
You've done the
wireless
scoreline
microphone.
He's basically made the Crew SC logo and the Toronto FC logos into the score predictions at really like amateur level. But you got to respect his ambition, Darby.
It'll be reversed then, won't it?
No. Yvonne Siegel, your score prediction.
That's not how light works.
For the match, my friend.
I'm gonna say 3-2, but
You're not saying who's going to win.
You have to pick a winner.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's not like I get points for any of this.
You do not.
Well, you're
the
guest
guest
FC.
Guest right now, yeah.
How did I get? Okay, whatever.
Because Sean left.
Well, he kicked him out.
What? That was awesome! Holy shit!
Somebody make sure to capture that on.
John just
Periscope.
flipped a coaster directly at my phone that's halfway across the room and hit it directly in the camera lens. And so people on Periscope will have just gotten roasted. Man, pick a winner, Jesus Christ, Levon.
We win.
Who's we?
Oh, come on.
San Jose?
She's got a red shirt on.
Crew.
She must be cheering for Toronto.
Right, yeah, that's
Up the lads. I say Crewzers FC 1, Toronto FC 2. I also say fuck Michigan. I say free Hoopervent. And I say hashtag save the crew. What do you think about that, Darby? Hoopervent.
You picked a loss,
I
you
remember him.
shitlord.
Yes, that is my place in the universe. That's it. That's all for
He always
episode-
picks losses and he always wins, so.
How does that work? Because
I have no idea.
If you'd like to look
it's
at
almost
the
like
fucking
he's
thing,
cheating
man.
or something.
Yeah,
If you'd like
it's
to look
almost
at
like-
the spreadsheet, it
Yes,
exists
we
in
Always
real life.
predicts
We would
losses,
absolutely
but
love
we
to.
make it to the finals.
Darby. That's you.
Doesn't make sense.
I realized that wasn't an offer to actually show the spreadsheet, though. You can email it to me.
I did that last year. Remember I sent you guys a screenshot of what this spreadsheet looks like as a file, but not like the actual thing? Okay, John, what's GCG Bat got going on this week?
Nothing. It's a away game. They'll be watching an Endeavor, I assume. That's where they tend to watch games.
Are we watching? Would we recommend people coming to Endeavor as well, John?
No, because I would like a seat, so don't come here.
All right, we'll see you in Endeavor. Darby, any volunteer opportunities this week?
Yvonne has a song that she would like to sing.
Oh, shit. That's right.
That she, very timidly, I have a song.
Why didn't you tell me that? Okay, go. Yes, no.
She did. She mentioned it a couple times.
Is it a hot take?
It's more of a hatake.
Nothing is impossible. Make your dreams come true.
And now, an ACES radio exclusive, the battle for the grand prize. Hot takes from the masses.
You're not going to stop there. We got the grand prize.
Hot takes from Twitter.
He's heating up.
Hot takes
He's on fire.
from you.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't, Walter. Walter, you cannot.
I really want John Zadar dead.
We go now live to Yvonne Siegel, where I remind you, as always, the dried, crappy contact lenses are falling out of her face with a passionate extremity that you're not used to, which is a real word. Back to you, Yvonne.
Such a build-up. Okay, this is an ode to Dave Greeley.
Awesome.
Okay. I am the very model of incompetent executive. I'm here to ruin soccer, and I haven't got a fuck to give. My astroturf is lame as hell. I'm clueless for now what to do. I've handed out my tees and scarves to each and every one of you. I'm not too well acquainted with what makes this soccer oh so great. Just want to make some money off supporters who I really hate. I have a history of fails, but I was hired anyway. I hope they never notice all the bullshit on my resume. I'm very bad at people skills. My grassroots efforts really blew. My very best idea is just to steal ideas from Save the Crew. I'm here to ruin soccer, and I haven't any fucks to give. I am the very model of incompetent executive. Doot-doot-doot-doot-doot.
Holy shit, dude. Solana Max. Dave Freely.
Good.
Lyndon Beep. Lady Bird. That was so incredible.
Can you please give...
What song is that?
Modern Major General?
I don't know what that
It's from
is.
Pirates of
Pirates
Penzance.
of Penzance.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
It was a play I
Here.
was in when I was a child, John.
I'm so glad you know it.
No, AGS Attack needs to seriously take lessons. Like,
Wow.
let's
Yvonne.
bring him up here. 'cause
So good. I mean, how long did that take you? What are you doing?
You're showing me the... You know that's not where the speaker is, right?
I'm playing it.
Putting it to the microphone.
This is definitely how it works.
There you go. Put the actual speaker up to the microphone. I don't need to see it.
John, our contact lens just fell out.
Yeah, I can't see anything.
Okay. What's this about? What's it? No, never mind.
It's about pirates from Penzance.
It's a Gilbert and Sullivan musical.
I don't know who that is.
And-
It's about
yeah, they're-
Panzer's
I know you're a
pizza.
musical
Yeah.
girl, and I'm not a musical girl.
I don't
so-
know why I'm ever...
Kevin Kline was in the movie version with Linda
Oh
Ronstadt.
my goodness, I'm not even
Linda
sure who Kevin
Ronstadt.
Kline is.
Yeah, I'd say there's
You
zero
don't know who
chance.
Kevin Kline is?
Or
Oh
Linda
my-
Ronstadt.
Name something else that he's in.
Many things. A fish called Wanda. Dave. Come on, Morgan, help
The
me
Big
out
Chill.
here. The Big Chill.
Never seen any of these.
Out and About. What is that
John's
movie
a
where
baby.
he's
Never
gay?
seen that.
The movie where he's secretly gay and falls in love with Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
Out of the closet. In and out. In and out.
Wild Wild West. I would know that. Yep, know who he is.
Oh, that's a
That's
great
it.
movie.
It's not, but that's the one I've seen. When
Oh,
I
shit.
just googled him. The
Oh,
only
so
movie
sorry.
I've seen on here is that he's in is that one. Apparently, he was in the new Beauty and Beast. Didn't see that though. And
I don't know
He was an
why.
animated creature, anyways.
I'm ever shocked that Yvonne Siegel blows my brain apart with a song that she made up. Thank you to Yvonne Siegel. Thank you to
I
Sean
loved it
Kelly.
nonetheless.
There will be more. I'm hoping. I'm working on a new one right now.
Thank you to Gilbert and Sullivan and Kevin Kline and Calvin Klein and Marty McFly
All of the.
Oh, I know those guys.
and Biff Tannen. On behalf of Benevolent Corporate Overlord sponsor Spit, Salvia, Foot Golf, Larry Turd, Erica Kress, Clark Beacom, the dead rotting corpse of Kevin Burns. It's been the season debut of ACES Radio, and all or Guillermo's people said... ACES!
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Please have a party. Feed us drinks. Get us laid. Ow!
Dude, don't pretend like you're busy working or something, dude. You know you're in bed, just watching PlayStation or something like that.
That's the word on the street.